It's all set as the ladies come off the ground.
And
just how do you see it going, Macca? How do you see it panning out?
Oh, look, I think it'll be hot early. If Donnybrook have come to play, it'll be hot early and it could be an arm wrestle. But South sometimes have a tendency to get out of the blocks early on their home ground and get two or three quick ones, and then the opposition chase tail, and then it closes up in the last quarter. So there would have been, if I was the coach, if I was Bolton, be a big focus on making sure there's a lot of effort and we're switched on at the start. Don't wait for things to happen. You make it happen.
And if you're going to beat South Bunbury, you need to play the full game.
Absolutely.
You can't afford to drift on. That's what sides do. They drift away for 5 or 10 minutes, and within that 5 or 10 minutes, South Bunbury can kick a few goals. So that's a good mental test for any side coming up against the Tigers.
Well and truly. They are the yardstick. They are the benchmark. They've played in grand finals the last 3 or 4 years. They've won grand final last year after knocking on the door for a fair amount of time. And I would suggest that with a few players that are getting on there, the opportunities for them will be slim. So they'll be wanting to make the most of this, and they'll be wanting to grab another one this year. So you'll see the older players like Cormac and Crane. They'll be trying to lead from the front because they know that Father Time's going to catch up with them sooner rather than later.
Just watching both these sides warm up too. Donnybrook have got a fair bit of height out there, Macca, if you have a look through their list as they're going through some pre-game.
That's what happens when you live in Donnybrook, because you've got to pick apples from the top of the tree.
And just looking, I like their assistant coaches out there, former Donnybrook champion Cody Miller and Chris Attow out, just having a bit of a word with the boys. It's always good to have that experience around you.
Chris Attow can't help himself, can he? Has to be around footy. When I first rocked up calling with you, Craney, he'd come across from Donnybrook, followed his coach, Julian Burgess, and played a couple of seasons for South Bunbury, but then he found himself back playing a bit of league for Donnybrook. Now he's retired and he's helping out, which is wonderful.
And we welcomed everyone on the Vision, on the SEN app. So as we get ready to get underway in the big game. Umpires for today's game, Macca, they're very important. It's Umpires Appreciation Round too, so we appreciate them and absolutely get in behind them. As we say, if you want to umpire this game and have a bit of fun, it's a great way to make a bit of money on a weekend. But so get down here. All you need to do is go.
Is there a boundary umpire debutant?
There is at that. So we've got Greg Ralph, Cameron Valetti, and Scott Jones, a very experienced trio doing the field. Asher DePiazzi, Emma Hutchins, and Daniel Gilly is promoted to the league boundary umpiring. So his first game, so wish him all the best. Dylan Actons, who we had on the show on the weekend, and Vance Burton in the goals. As we're going to have a little bit of a ceremony for the umpires, I think.
They'll come in and the sides will form a guard of honour for the umpires. There'll be a few words said and you expect them to shake the umpires' hands.
Did you ever do any umpiring, Mac?
I did. And it's a lot different to playing, let me tell you.
And we've got a special guest in the box here who threw the commentary things away, Mac, and took up coaching again.
More money in coaching, Craney.
Very, very successful yesterday. HBL defeated Mark.
He's got a big smile on his face.
Yeah, well, that's right. It was a big victory down there for the HBL boys. Of course, 9-4-58 defeated AMR 6-12-48 thanks to Geograph Civil. And the Harvey Bulls yesterday went down to Bunbury 19-12-126 to the Harvey Bulls. 4 goals, 3-27. Macca, let's do a couple of matchups for Southern Lock and Security. Secure your home and business with Southern Lock and Security. Give us a couple of key matchups, Mac.
I think in the ruck, if Gregory does take first ruck going up against young Will Pedley, that'll go a long way to seeing how the sides set up in the middle of the ground for centre bouncers, depending who's dominating there. And you'd expect Gregory to get on top in the air, but Pedley could get him around the ground. As I said, I'd love Clayton Giblett to go in there and really dominate from the start because I think he could do that. Do
you think the coach of South Bunbury, he likes to use Horsman through that ruck, but Horsman's going to be needed across that half back line, just looking at the height that the Donnybrook forwards have got. Yeah,
he'll give Pedley first crack at it. And he's a good player, Pedley, don't get me wrong, but if he starts getting on top of it, he might bring Horsman in to do a little bit more of the rucking so he can keep up with these.
Do you know another weapon they've got, South Bunbury. They can throw Nordell into the ruck.
Yes.
He's a bit smaller, but around the ground he becomes a hard man to match up on. It's a very good, a bit of umpires went and shook all the players' hands, and that's why it should be. So if you ever want to take up umpiring, it's a good way to get a bit of cash. Johnny Bajetta's done it, standing behind me here, loved it. And the players, captains in for the toss. Donnybrook have won the toss. They're kicking to the city end of Hands Oval.
Yeah, Kevin Chetty taking his boys. They're kicking to the Bustleton end. What's the breeze doing, Craney? There's no flags for us. What are the trees saying?
I don't know, but have a look at that rainbow right in front of us here, Mac. Go to that white car over that white Hyundai and you'll kick up a pot of gold, Mac.
I think the breeze might be gently pushing towards the Bunbury end.
A little bit of mist out there coming across. I think that's going to be all the day, but I don't think it's going to have a major effect on this game.
The other matchup that I think could go a long way to deciding it is the two bulls at the coal face, Kendall and Bain. Both like to work in hard and get the ball out to others on the outside of clear. Bain is actually good at getting the ball to his boot in traffic and tumbling it forward. Kendall more by hand, but they will both go hard at it. If I was either of them today, I would have worn a crash helmet because they'll be hitting into each other pretty hard. They put their head over the footy.
Percy's just heading into the middle for Donnybrook. He is an absolute star. Keep an eye on him, number 6. And they're just about ready to start here, as that rainbow is an absolute beauty. Charlie likes that rainbow. He reckons that's pretty handy. He'll be after that pot of gold very shortly. Waldrod in the middle for South. Umpire Cam Valenti is just about making sure everyone's ready, and then we're ready to get the show on the road. Here is the action from Hands Oval. Donnybrook v South Bunbury for SEN Spirit, of course. And thanks to Tyre Power for their support this afternoon, and Hyundai and Cash for Cans as Cam Valenti wanders in. Balls aloft. This is SEN Spirit. Darren McDonald.
Craney, look who's in the ruck for the Dons.
You called it, and you like to see it.
Giblet wins it down straight to Perkisic. He's taken high. Umpire sees it. Perkisic wins the free kick in the middle of the ground.
Gee, I tell you what, it wasn't a bad tap down to start with from Giblet.
Absolutely. That tackle.
I like that because that's a positive move by Bolton.
Perkisic goes long and strong, deep inside 50. Player set himself. The ball has been spilt there by Triggle. There's been a shot on goal, but it's gone out on the full.
Gee, it almost ended up too easy for Jackie Triggle. It passed over the pack and it went straight through him.
So the ball to be brought back into play by Tom Gorder and
Gee, that kick travelled a long way too. We're not sure about the breeze out there. Is there a bit out there?
I think it is.
John just nodded his head.
Tommy Gorder bring the ball back into play over the scoreboard side. Spots up his teammate in Bain.
John Bajetta just saying there's about a 2.5, 3 goal breeze towards the city end.
Bain
the scoreboard end. Actually,
goes
scoreboard both ends. So
long down the line, sitting underneath it, Giblet and Pedley. Pedley did well, but Giblet paid the mark. Gives a handball off immediately. Donnybrook go inside 50 once again. Gorder sitting underneath it. Does that time and time again.
Yeah, time again. Exactly right.
Vintage Tom Gorder. Comes out, bit of a mongrel kick. Chitty gets a fist on it. Donnybrook first to arrive. That was Dale. Kick there by McCosker, and then Chitty gets it forward further afield. Coming out and meeting at his lane, overruns the footy. Pettit head over the footy, and then a good tackle by Bunbury Mower service by Lane in the recovery, and that's what you want from your forwards, Craney.
Absolutely do. Tackling pressure that early, that wins games of footy.
So they're just 4 to centre for South Bunbury here on the members' side. Up they go for Hyundai. Giblet winning the ruck. Only down as far as that man Bain who snapped it forward, and it beats Ethan Nordell over the line.
Gee, what a beautiful sight here, isn't it, Mago, from this vantage point?
It's magnificent. So they're going to throw the ball back in. It's on just in front of the South Bunbury social rooms at about 55 metres around from the South Bunbury goal. In they come. Pedley and Giblet. Giblet wins it again. No real clear winner. The stacks on the mill there, and umpire's going to ball it up. So up they go again for Hyundai. One down beautifully by Giblet. He's winning everything at the moment. Crane shovels a quick one out to Bain. Bain goes long to the goal square. They sit underneath it. No one can mark it. Pettit did exceptionally well there on lane, and the ball's over the line for a boundary throw.
Yeah, Pettit did very well. He could have really dropped that down in front of the ball, but he didn't. He fisted towards a boundary. That was excellent defence.
MGIB, just like a good neighbour. They are looking after Craney's expert comments today. Ball comes back into play. No ruckman wins it. It's in dispute. Cormac grabs it, and he loves getting the ball in that area and often milks a free, Craney, but not this time. Chase Cormac been a good player for a long time. Won every medal that there is to win. Giblet wins it down again in front of Pedley. Perkisic tackled as he kicked it. Comes out and what's the umpire said?
Free kick.
It's down the ground. Jacob Kendall to take the relay, is it? Or is it going back? Is it going back to where it happened?
Perkic is...
so it must have been a sling tackle, was it, Craney?
I'm not quite sure, mate, but it's back with Perkic anyway.
Sisko was going to pounce all over that and drive it back inside, but wearing the helmet today.
Both sides feeling each other a bit out here, aren't they?
Perkisic, lovely drop punt out to the far side in the pocket, and it's been marked. Ball chipped up by Donnybrook. Working very, very well. Kieran Hugg gets the ball into Shannon. Shannon coming into the corridor. Coming beautifully. Jordan Falco right in the centre of the ground. He goes long down the corridor, but getting in and taking a strong mark was Galloway. You said he's a bit of an unsung hero, Craney.
Oh, he's very smart along that half-back line.
Horsman now with the footy. Tried to hit up Cormac. Wasn't the best kick, and Donnybrook easily come in and spoil that one. So McCosker following him around by the look of it. And Chitty just goes bang, bang to McCosker as he goes by him. Up they go. Giblet and Pedley. One down by Pedley. Crane shovels it out. Chitty head over footy. Perkisic hard at it. Kendall fires out a handball to Shannon. Shannon goes to full forward. They sit underneath it. No one can. Trigwell held when he doesn't have the football. Gets a handball out to a teammate. Now it comes out to Carey. He got it on his boot, and it's gone through for the first score of the game, and it's a solitary behind.
There's a good match-up too for Southern Lock and Security. Versace on to Trigwell.
Yes.
It'll be a good contest.
And Rocco Versace can play anywhere on the ground.
He doesn't give away the one-on-one too many times either, Rocco Versace.
Gorda on the left foot.
Gee,
out there, a fly by Ethan Nordell, can't mark. Kendall gets knocked over by his own player. Got it to Hugg. Now they're away. Lucy goes back to Hugg on the left boot. He has put that right through the middle, I think. He has. The umpire did a bit of work. But Kieran Hugg, they get around him. It must be his first goal for the footy club.
Well, no, he's played here before, Kieran Hugg, but it's his first game back for a while. So good to see. He's a class player too, Kieran Hugg. It'd be great to see him back in Donnybrook colours, and they worked that very well. That's a nice little goal, and maybe even in for a WA Carpet Supermarket nomination, Macca. Clark Daring up onto this wing too. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Up against Cade Siska. So another good battle. There's good battles going on all around here.
Get a bit of run into his legs. Up they go. Pedley and Giblet. No ruckman wins it. Perkisic snaps it out of the middle. Getting after the football is Hugg, but beaten in the end really well by Higgins. Got a handball over to a teammate and away they go. Kicked long down the line by Jai Clark, and a good mark there to Lane. Lane goes wide, further still. They're still outside 50. Good mark on the chest to Bain. What will he do? Plays on, goes long into the corridor, but he played on outside the line of play, so it'll be a boundary throw-in.
I was just looking at it too. I thought, I don't think you can do that, and the umpire's all over that.
Yeah.
So it'll be a boundary throw-in because he just about walked around the goals, didn't he? Went on from that far.
Absolutely, he did. When he did that, I thought, if they're awake to it, that will be just a boundary throw-in.
Great to see the vision on the scoreboard too, thanks to Dean Lomax.
Well done, Dino. Rightio. Ball to come.
And we better say Jared O'Brien. We don't want to leave him out.
Ball to come back into play. No ruckman wins it. Comes out to Crane. He's a good user of the footy. Puts it into a good, dangerous position. But a good, strong mark to the Donnybrook defender. And he gives it out there to a teammate in Jackson, who's marked it in the back pocket, the left back pocket. He goes long down the line, bringing it up to the flank. Giblet sets himself. Coming across the front was Perkovic. Kai Lucy's got his head over the footy. The South Bunbury boys appeal for insufficient intent, but they're going to throw it in.
Yeah, good, interesting start to the... There's not a lot of flow in the game because both sides are hitting this very hard at the contest. But I think it will open up as we go, Mac. As Giblet takes it for himself, he just says, I'll do it.
And he soccers it out to centre-half back, and Tom Gorder takes the mark.
Look at the spread here.
He goes bang. He's got a teammate out on the wing, and that's Jace Cormack. He gives a handball off to a hard-running Clark. He goes inside 50. Waldrett brings the ball to ground. Crane. What's the umpire found? A free kick to Donnybrook over the shoulder.
Jace Cormack's lead was good then. He worked very hard. Oh, that's dangerous.
Perkovic goes to a one-on-one, and Kendall Pedley does very well and holds him out of it. Ethan Nordell inside, but the mark being taken by Jackson. He finds Pettit. They're outside D50 now. Pettit just spots up a teammate in Jackson. So Jackson goes up. He's got Kendall on his own. Gorder with him. Smashes the ball to the boundary line. It trickles over the line just in front of us. And there'll be a reset for Hyundai. Right on centre wing. What are you making of it so far, Alan?
Oh, it's just a bit of an arm wrestle, Macca. That's what it is so far. Both sides trying to grab control of the footy. Still waiting to open up the game a little bit. But, yeah, she's tough in the clinches, as you'd expect.
Ball comes back into play. One down by Horsman. They still battle on.
That's a nice
ball
stat.
gets someone gets their foot on it for South Bunbury and gets it forward. Shannon head over the footy for Donnybrook. Ethan Nordell snap. Perkovic waiting that kick behind the play.
And because there's pressure on it, players are turning the ball over. They haven't got that time to finesse.
Ball goes into the top of 50, goes over the head of the pack. Triggles in the van here. If it sits for him, it does. Handball's over the top to a teammate who bangs it through, and that's Carey. Christian Carey. First goal for the footy club.
Welcome to the Southwest Footy League, Carey, because Christian Carey, that was, look, right spot. Zachy Triglaw did that well. He pushed everyone under. Could have probably had a shot for himself. He didn't. He's seen Christian Carey on his own, and he ran into an open goal. And they're just working away, aren't they, Donnybrook? It's very a workmanlike performance.
Yeah, they are just doing the basic things well, Craney.
Which is what you need to do, isn't it?
Playing the percentages, and South Bunbury now got some work to do. There's on the Isuzu Ute, on the Southwest Isuzu Ute scoreboard, it's Donnybrook 2-1 to South Bunbury yet to score.
And good on Daniel Gilly this afternoon too, making his league debut as a boundary umpire. Good to see. The nerves would have run away a bit now, I reckon, once the game started.
Yeah. All right. Up they go. One down by Gregory over the top of his opponent. Who is that,
Toby Hawkins, that is.
Oh, that is Toby Hawkins, yeah. And away they go again. Gregory wins it down again. Shannon head over the football, which all the Donnybrook boys are doing pretty well at the moment. Bain sees something a bit wider that he likes, sends it out there. It isn't marked by Crawford, but he stays in the game. Well done, Crawford. Got a handball out. Coming at it very, very hard was Bedford, but South Bunbury are away through Jarvis. Now Cormack just puts a little bit of speed in there, gets it out there beautifully to Crawford, who's then tackled over the line by this player, number 26, who's not on our list, Craney, so I'm not sure who he is from Donnybrook, but he's been playing well in the back line. So ball to come back into play. Bo Luzzi on centre wing. One down there by Hawkins this time. So the bigger body going into the ruck for South Bunbury, starting to even it up a little bit.
South are getting done around the clearance contest too. Yeah. They'll have to work on a bit of a plan, hence the reason why Hawkins has gone in. Bain
got a shoe in it out of the clearance lane, scooped it up cleanly, as he often does, dangerous. And then goes into the corridor to a one-on-one. Ziska gets the ball to ground.
It's got a 1-on-3.
Lane follows up. He's still trying to work exceptionally hard. Donnybrook now emerge with the footy. Bedford puts his head over it, and Cormack nearly gave him a drive-by as Ethan Nordell then sends it forward. A really good effort by Waldrett. Should have been a free kick and is. And he's capable from here, Craney.
Gee, he was strong in that contest.
Puts in a bullet, but intercepting it is Dale, the skipper. that was going to put a hole in Johnson's chest, but Dale did a really good job.
Lukey Dale onto Johnson too. Good matchup.
Dale got it to Pettit, who in turn chipped it to Perkisic, and there's Cooper Clark-Daring in the middle of the ground. Took a mark, goes wide out to the wing looking for Parker. Parker's got time, picks it up. He goes on the right boot. It's a bit of a wobbly old kick, and waiting there to receive it was Higgins for South Bunbury. They repel through the middle of the ground. Ethan Nordell wants to get on with it quickly.
Yeah,
no one
looking
there.
for that run from behind, but it just wasn't there.
So he's just behind centre. Goes wide to Crawford in the sleeves. He marks it on his chest, but they can't get the movement they need.
Donnybrook have done it well. They've pushed back very nicely to clog South Bunbury up.
And Horsman now has it just on the left hand point of the square in defence. They go across the ground, finds Gorder. So they're just holding possession, trying to take away momentum from the Donnybrook Footy Club. Gorder chips it up, finds a teammate in Cormac. Cormac just floats the ball up into the middle of the ground. They sit underneath it. Great mark by Bodie Nordell. Plays on immediately. He's got a man over the back in Clark. He should eat this for breakfast if he picks it up. He fires on goal. Oh, magnificent, desperate double-fister by Kieran Pettit.
I know we do the tackle of the game by Bunbury Mower Service, but just a 1%er wouldn't be too bad there by Pettit.
Brilliant. He's got it out.
Superman.
Bo Lucy kicks the ball long and strong. And there's a mark there to Cooper Clark-Daring. They'd love him to get involved. Gets it to Parker on the chest. Kai Lucy dropped what he should have taken by hand. Now there's Kendall buttering up. Umpire said hell without it. Now pays the advantage. Felco looks at his options inside. Trigwell in a mile of space. He really anticipated that kick coming in. Easy, beautiful kick by Felco and then taken on the chest, and he's going to line up almost dead in front and shoot from about 35.
Gee, if I was Rocco Versace, I'd be looking at that South midfield there a little bit because they let that go way too easy. Zachy Trigwell, beautiful league, and the kick was nice, but gee, the pressure wasn't what it needed to be.
And that's what Donnybrook are going to have to do throughout the game is lower their eyes. South are awake to the long kick in. In comes Trigwell. Good confident approach. It's a lovely looking kick off the boot, but he's just missed
Loveliest point for a while, isn't it?
He's missed to the near side, and that was very gettable for his standards.
Yeah, look, Donnybrook are looking good, though. They're putting pressure on South, creating the turnovers and stopping the South Tigers' run from behind, which is one of their major assets. So both coaches at quarter time, South of Julian Burgess will want to free it up a little bit, and Bolton will be saying more of the same, please.
But, South Bunbury are very good at chopping off the long kick in. They set up well for it. They sag off, take the uncontested mark.
And it's exactly right.
And then they go from there. But Donnybrook are awake to that, and their forwards are leading, and they're trying to hit up a target. And that has to force South Bunbury to change their game. Yeah, I know we've been waiting for the ball to come back for a while, but as soon as it went through the points, and this is how switched on they are, Donnybrook, they all ran to set up for the kick out. Whereas sometimes you can, if you're not quite switched on, you can be caught napping and they get an easy
They've got a definite zone, haven't they? 3, 4, 5. So
yeah. So they're switched on. So we'll know more about the game at half time when both sides are kicked with the breeze, but certainly Donnybrook are making the most of it as Gorder brings the ball back into play and hits up Clark on the chest, who's getting a few touches. Running past was Gorder with the handball, gave it a Crane. Now Cormac has it, runs through the wing, big up and under out to the half-forward flank, but getting underneath it, Ethan Nordell couldn't pick it up. Fraser does for Donnybrook and brings it back into the corridor. Falco waiting beautifully, takes it on the chest, gives it away to a runner who puts it to centre forward. Over they go. Here comes Hutton. He's opened up the Jets into an open goal. And he's got it. Donnybrook have got their third.
Hamish Hutton, I tell you what, Macca, when he decided to put the Jets on, there was very little stopping him. There was very little between him and the goals, and his eyes opened up like saucers, and he just went in and went bang, as you said. And that's Donnybrook's 3 goals, 2-20 to South Bunbury, just the solitary point. But it's the way they're using the football through the midfield.
So it's about 17 minutes gone in this quarter. 3 goals, 2-20 to 1 point. South Bunbury yet to score on the Southwest Isuzu Utes. Isuzu?
I drive an Isuzu.
Isuzu Utes scoreboard.
Thanks to SKG too for your support. Get your scans done at SKG.
So it's Hawkins and Giblet. Giblet wins it down, sharking it beautifully there off the bottom there was Bain. Gave a handball out. Chitty now set a task with Dale for company. He muscles it forward, then gets a toe on it. Coming out and picking it up beautifully off the deck was Cormac, and he goes back to an option that he likes, and that's Bain. What will Bain do? He'll be looking for Johnson, you can guarantee it. Goes bang into the hot spot. Players set themselves, they fly. Lane couldn't take the mark. Comes off the back to Pettit, who's been very serviceable. Here's Johnson now, intercepted the handball. Good tackle by Bo Lucy. Umpires found a free kick, and it's high. And he's getting marched to the square as well, Craney. There's a 50.
Oh.
So this will be a certain goal for the Tigers.
Well, the Tigers, they get enough of themselves, but this is a big one for Johnson. He won't miss from here. Blaine Johnson, and went bang. But the Tigers needed that one just to steady the ship a bit. Donnybrook were running havoc through that midfield. We're not quite sure about the breeze out there at the moment. We won't know that at half time, but I like the way Donnybrook are going against it, and good finish by South just then. But
yeah,
they needed it.
They went in well. Bain played the percentages, went to the hot spot, and it was a good pick up off the deck by Pettit, but then intercepted by Bain. Not Bain, Johnson.
Yeah, it was a nice little interception, wasn't it? Hands
Johnson.
up.
Yeah, good second
but
effort.
It was a quick 50, whatever happened in there.
Really good second effort, and he got taken high, and then I think he was dumped after the whistle went, and the umpire said that's 50. So good effort by South Bunbury. They've had to work pretty hard for it, but goals into this breeze are going to be like gold, I reckon.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. As you said, we won't know till about half time when both sides have a crack at it.
So what have you made of Hawkins going into the ruck, Craney? Do you think it's made a difference?
I think he has stemmed a little bit of Giblet's influence.
Up they go for Hyundai. No ruckman wings it, comes down. There's Bain there.
Well, no one had too much. Giblet had a little bit of time out of the ruck there, which they need to do. They're going to need to use the Harvey Norman interchange bench pretty wisely. Giblet
won it down to Falco. Falco handball to Hug. He scraps it through out of traffic. Out they come to meet it. Really solid body work there by Carey on his opponent, and that allowed the ball to stay in dispute.
Not often Rocco Versace gets upended, but Carey went back.
Oh, Bozo Carey just bowled him over.
And now they've matched up at each other.
Yep. So
Horsman's gone back to Trigwell.
So we're at left half forward.
And Gorda's on to Cooper Clark Daring. So some good matchups for Southern Lachlan Security.
So the ball's come back into play at left half forward, and now it's just gone in long from Gerard. Donnybrook inside 50. The ball is picked up by Daring. He's Clark Daring. He's tackled. It's about 30 metres out from Donnybrook's goal, and there'll be a ball up dead in front. So good tackle there for Bunbury Mower Service. And Daring's going to take Cooper Clark Daring's going to take the ruck in there, wins it down too. Streaking through was Hutton, couldn't take it. Sawyer does. He's opposing number 3 for South Bunbury, gets it out of defensive 50 for the time being. And McCosker attacks the ball really well. Bedford picks it up. He gives it off to Hug. Tries to step his opponent. He's got a player inside. Shannon has to go. Was put under the pump. Oh, good tackle on Bain. They're all going for it.
The pressure is huge.
Shannon picks it up for Donnybrook. Gets a handball out. There's a shot on goal, and it's an absolute beauty. That was Parker.
Let's put that down for a WA Carpet Supermarket goal of the day, because that was an absolute beauty from Parker. Read that ball extremely well. Gee, what a pressure was in by the Donnybrook forwards. They just were not going to let that out.
He did not have any time to speak of. The handball was on the wrong side, wasn't to advantage, so he grabbed it, and as we have a look on the replay, as they converged on him, he managed to get a right foot at it and went straight through the middle. And on the Southwest Isuzu Ute scoreboard, it's Donnybrook 4-2-26, leading South Bunbury 1-1-7.
I think the highlight of that was exactly that, the pressure that Donnybrook forwards, they just refused to let South Bunbury out. They did have runners on the other side, but their tackling pressure was superb.
They're all up for it, as you see. Christian Carey laying that big bump on Rocco Versace, setting the tone. Ball one down there by Hawkins this time. Picked up by Perkisic. Gets it to Hug, who's having an influence. Gets it back to Gerard. He goes a big up and under up to right half forward. Well attacked by Shannon. Hug there, receives a handball. Goes into the hot spot. Trigwell pushed out of it. Umpire says play on. Crane, ball eludes him. Gets back on it. He's pushed in the back. And the umpire's going to give him a free kick. So that was pushed in the back by Carey, who was a bit ambitious. Ball comes out to Crawford, takes a mark on his chest. He's got a couple of teammates leading, and coming at it beautifully was Jarvis. So South Bunbury look like they've just started to lift the intensity a little. Goes back to Gorda. Still inside D50. Spots up a teammate in Hawkins. Still inside D50. Was Horsman actually. And then he gets it to Gorda, who goes bang down the corridor.
That is a very good kick.
Waiting there and trying to take the mark was Clark. Ball goes over the back. It's with Jai Clark now from 50. Sees an open goal square. Pitches. Goal! He puts his hand up and celebrates, and that's a vital goal for the South Bunbury Tigers.
Yeah, they worked pretty hard to get that, didn't they? But the kick from Gorda there, that gave them into that forward line. We talked about that before. Get the ball in there quickly to the forward line, and it gives you a bit of space. And Donnybrook had no time to get defenders back there. Wasn't a bad kick from Clark. He just let loose there.
He's a skillful little player. Brother of Jordan Clark from the Fremantle Dockers, obviously. And
South need to do something about these clearances, because Donnybrook are well on top around the midfield and all clearances.
Yeah, they are. But they're finding a way now.
Pedley's gone back into the ruck for South.
So Hawkins just having
Cormac,
a spell.
Crane are in there as well as Nordell. So see if they can stem the flow a little bit.
Up they go. It's one down there by Pedley, taken by Falco. Gets a handball to Hug forward. Perkisic, they're just fisting it around like volleyball. Doing really good. It's gone inside and there hasn't been a kick. Gone inside 50. Here comes McCosker. He's done a little toe poke. Getting his head over the football is Carey. Brought to ground now and there'll be a ball up.
It's a pike, isn't it, in volleyball?
Yeah, a spike.
A spike.
So they're going to ball it up 30 metres, dead in front of Donnybrook goal. One down by Cooper Clark-Daring. Taken by Crane, gets it to Ethan Nordell. He scrubs it outside 50 towards the boundary line. Will it be insufficient intent? Umpire says ball it in.
He's probably a little bit lucky there. There was only one place he was going
there
towards.
There was no teammates running towards it, that's for sure. That is for sure. So, ball to be brought back into play at right half forward for the Dons. It's been a good quarter by the Donnybrook side. We're 25 and a half minutes gone. One down. Oh, Hug hit solidly. Then it's gone down. Then it's gone inside from the Donnybrook player. Gorda hits it really hard. Comes at it again. It's in dispute here at 40 metres out, dead in front of Donnybrook's goal. No side can really win it, but both sides are desperate, and there's been a free kick found now.
Just around the grounds, thanks to Geograph Civil. Dunsborough 7-6-48. They leave the Collie Eagles 5-7-37 at half time. So doing pretty well up there.
So Pedley had the free kick for South Bunbury. Puts a chip pass out to a teammate there in Clark. He tells everyone to settle down. The goal kicker. And then he goes out further to half-back, just short by a foot, and the ball ends up over the line. There'll be a ball in, just where we did it 2 minutes ago for Hyundai.
Deja vu for you, Macca. And Cash for Cans. Thanks for Cash for Cans.
Rightio. So ball to come back into play. We've got Pedley and Giblet. Up they go. Giblet wins the ball down in front. Perkisic takes it and bombs it forward. Pitches inside 50. They get after it, but it trickles over the line just in front of the scoreboard. Be a throw in 40 metres around from Donnybrook goal.
Donnybrook have had a very good first quarter. Have they got enough out of it, though, Macca? That'd be the question. 2-goal lead, 2 goals.
I think with South getting 2 goals into the breeze, I'd have to say no. But we'll know more at half time, won't we? Ball comes back into play. This time it's one down by right for South Bunbury. It's picked up there by Donnybrook. Handball comes out of the pack. Waldrett on that deadly left foot just smacks it forward. Getting back there is Bo Lucy. Gets it a little toe on it to save himself from holding the ball. Begs, big body over the ball, and Clayton Giblet picks it up off the deck and thumps it forward. Hug picks the ball off the ground, gets it to Cooper Clark-Daring. He's got 3.
He's had the ball on a string, Kieran Hugg. He's had a fantastic first quarter for the Dons.
He's been everywhere, and he's got a free kick because he was harshly dealt with after he got rid of the footy.
Good to see him back. Good to see class players in the Southwest Footy League.
So he's on the right forward flank. Goes long into the hot spot. They fly. They're all over. Trigwell's on the ground. Ball goes over the back. Umpire has seen a free kick, and it's going to Trigwell. Interference in the marking contest.
That was a long way off the fall of the ball too.
Yeah.
On the siren. This is going to be a crucial kick from Zaki Trigwell for Donnybrook.
So not much angle to speak of, Craney, and certainly he's going to kick it from about 35. He's gone back longer than Dennis Lilly at the whacker.
He's got the nice run up from the river end.
He missed a soda earlier, so I want to make sure he gets this one. In he comes. Quite deliberate this time. Leans back on it. Umpire does not move, and that's a vital goal to Trigwell just after the quarter-time siren. And South Bunbury have got some work to do in this second quarter, Craney.
Yes, I've been thrown down the challenge by Donnybrook. I like the setup by the Dons. They were doing everything right in that first quarter. We'll be back after the break for quarter number 2. Get us quarter time at hands. And Donnybrook, well, they had a very, very good first quarter. They lead South Bunbury 32-13. Not so sure how strong this breeze is. Time will tell. But I like the way Donnybrook went about it. Their pressure was enormous. The forward pressure, once they locked it in their forward 50, they were very reluctant to let it go again. And South, well, they couldn't get that normal run on Macca.
No, they couldn't. But they had worked themselves back into the game, and it was only a 2-goal differential, which we were discussing just before the end of the first quarter. And we thought, with the way they started and the breeze, they'd probably be happy with that at quarter time. But then a free kick just on the siren and Trigwell converting gives Donnybrook that 3-goal buffer, which...
that was big, wasn't it? The goal after the
could be a Buckingham Butcher's the big moment.
I was just going to think that you might have been going to do that.
Yeah, so that we may reflect on that during the game later on, that decision and that moment. But they'll go to work now. They're a mature side. They've been together for a long time.
South need to do something around the clearances because they are getting spanked at the moment. The Donnybrook midfield is getting those clearances way too easy.
They will lift their intensity. That's what they'll do, Craney, because they've got the players in there. Just lift the intensity.
So we get Toby Hawkins back in the ruck for South to go up against Giblet, who's been playing very, very well.
Absolutely. Clayton Giblet, we called it before the game. It'd be good to see him as a positive move to go into the ruck, and he did not disappoint at all. At all.
All right, time to get the second quarter action underway for SEN Spirit. South Bunbury v Donnybrook and Darren McDonald.
And Giblet wins the ball out of the middle of the ground again. For Donnybrook, they lay on it. The umpire lets it go for a little bit, but they're going to ball it up just forward to centre for Donnybrook.
Gee, a goal here to Donnybrook would make this game interesting.
And up they go for Hyundai. They scrap for it. And Clark fires a handball out to Nordal. Nordal on his right boot to centre-half forward. Good, strong mark there to Cormac. Playing like a centre-half forward there, Craney.
Absolutely. I'm going to put that down for a CPA Outdoors chance for mark of the day. It was very, very strong.
55 out. It shoots in from 60. It's going to go to the hot spot. They sit underneath it. And then the ball is cleared by Shannon of Donnybrook. Big, long kick out of the fence. Sitting underneath it and taking a good mark is Carey, who's done some good things in the game so far. Gets it out wide to Fraser. Not the best kick. Fraser picks it up, though. He thought about going back to Carey, then pumped, faked, and went around again. Perkisic, just at high half forward. Gives a handball onto a hard-running Hug, who's been impressive. Kick not so this time, and it just trickles over the boundary line.
I tell you what,
out on the full.
Christian Carey's starting to settle into this game nicely too.
Absolutely.
Get better as the game going. And Kieran Hug, well, he took his own footy.
So Versace, just a little chip pass, finds Bain. Umpire says play on, not the required 15. Comes across to Cade Waldrett. He's looking, uses that lethal left, trying to find Hawkins. Giblet right with him. Gains control of the pretty great shepherd there by his teammate and Gerard. Not much of him. Gets it to Pettit. Pettit spears it in and finds Falco. Falco just forward to centre wing. Grandstand side. Goes wide. Dering sets himself. Good strong mark. Cooper Clark Dering. Goes back. They'd love him to get right involved, Craney.
Yeah, the headband looks pretty classy too, Mac.
He goes to the hot spot. They flies a mark taken there for Donnybrook, and it's Fraser. He went up and ended up taking it on the chest, Alan.
Yes, he did it, that, Mac, and I'm going to put that one down for WA Carbo CPA Outdoors mark of the chance too. But it's a way Donnybrook is setting up behind the ball that's not allowing South Bunbury an easy exit. Even then when they come out, there were two or three Donnybrook players to one South Bunbury. So they're doing it very well at the moment, and this will be a big goal.
So Fraser shooting for the first of the quarter. Nice little drop punt. Not going to make the distance off hands over the line. He would like to have that kick again. It was only from about 40 metres. Didn't quite get the purchase he wanted.
Yeah, 9-goal kicker. Maybe that's a bit of the breeze too, Mac.
Could be. The tree's hardly moving, Craney.
It's a bit hard to tell. We're locked up in this beautiful commentary box with our air conditioner going. It's quite pleasant.
In the old days, we would have got the full front as Gorder brings the ball out full back, and a big fly there from Lucy. Brings the ball to ground. That was Bo Lucy. Crane throws his body on it, and as a consequence, Waldron gets it out to Chitty. Chitty looking for lane, fell over himself. Soccer off the ground from Siska. Can't pick up. Johnson can't, but looks like Cormac can. Got a handball back to his teammate, and Clark goes back to Waldron on his opposite boot. Straight through the eye. Diddle, Craney. That is a chance for, is it CPR out?
Let's go for CPR. No, it's a WA Carpet
Supermarket goal of the day.
Yeah, he had a couple of options on the outside, but I like that. If you think you can kick the goal, you kick the goal. And Waldrott is a very good goal kicker and a bit of class. And yeah, that just South Bunbury worked their way back into that game. It wasn't pretty, but they got there, and that's all they needed to do.
11-point play, Craney. Fraser misses a sitter dead in front. They go coast to coast. They get the 6-pointer themselves. They get first blood for the second quarter. South Bunbury 3-1-19 to 5-3-33. Donnybrook on the southwest Isuzu Utes scoreboard.
Thanks to SKG too. Get your scans done at SKG if you need them.
And the words of wisdom here that we hear from Alan Craner, thanks to MGIB.
Good day, Gags too. I know you'll be watching.
Just like a good neighbour. As Donnybrook wing the tap again, and that man Kendall just bowls through like he does the human bowling ball. Umpire's going to throw it up, just forward to centre for the Dons. Pedley gets over the top here. Ball can't be taken by Bain. Kendall head over it. Umpire says holding the ball. He didn't try and get it out, just sat on it. Hatched it. Chitty, the skipper, comes out grandstand side. Lane, eyes for the ball. Double grabber, takes it at half forward. Looking to wheel around on his right. South Bunbury have lifted their intensity, Alan. He goes in looking to the hot spot. They fly. Big fist coming out from Donnybrook. Kieran and Pettit in the right place. Not the best kick. It goes underground to Gerard, and a good tackle by Siska. Now, Lane has the football. Handball's inside. Waldron on his left. Should have tried on his opposite again. He's a better kick on that. Only a behind to Cade Waldron.
You get the feeling there's the Tigers are starting to lift a little bit.
Absolutely they are. And mark on the chest outside 50 to Jackson for Donnybrook. In the kick, not the best to Bo Lucy, and it's picked up there by Bodie Nordell. Gives it to Crane, goes to the pocket. Ball taken by Dale, the skipper of Donnybrook. Goes high, outside fence. Kendall gets a hand on it. Attacking the footy well was Clark. Now it's in the hands of Bodie Nordell. He goes back to the wing. It's taken there beautifully by Bain. Just forward to centre. Looking for options. Got Siska right over the other side if they can get it to him. Oh, the ball was dropped by Wright. And then he gathered his own ball and then just throws it inside 50. They sit underneath it. Pettit battles for the football. He's worked pretty hard today. Shoveled out by Kendall. Got it to Dale, and he's hacked it out of defence again. Suddenly Donnybrook look under pressure and they look a bit tired. Working hard is Pedley over the football. Bodie Nordell's there as well. Higgins, he's fighting for it for the Tigers. Nordell emerges with the football on his right boot. Just goes inside 50 in the corridor. No one can take the mark. Umpire's found a free kick. And being held off the footy was Beggs. Plays on immediately. Gets it out to Jackson. Goes on his left foot, long down the wing. Giblet's there, can't mark. Pedley was with him. Good effort, but Giblet's going to be the first to recover. Ball sits up nicely for him. Has a look inside. Short pass, not the best one. Taken by Trigwell well off the deck. Gets a handball away. There's that man hug. Gets it over the top to Shannon. Left foot, bullet inside 50, and a good saving mark there by Wright. This is a good game, Alan.
It's an absolute ripper. Men on the grandstand side.
And it's come out to Clark. He's taken on the chest. He's starting to fit in his side. He gave it to Crane, the old stager. He gets it up the ground, finds Sawyer. Sawyer goes into the corridor, all on his Pat Maloney's Waldrett. Easy mark on the chest. He's starting to get a bit of footy and has helped lift the tempo of this game for South Bunbury. Goes out, goes wide again on the left looking for Cormac. Can't pick it up. Dale, the skipper, walks it over the line for the Dons. Nearly on the junction of 50 in the boundary line here on the grandstand side.
Waldrett working very hard too. He's running hard to get content and becoming an option.
Yes, absolutely.
Interchange bench is going to be very interesting too for Harvey Norman Furniture. The way they work this, because this game is physical and it's fast, so you need to keep a bit of run in those legs.
Pedley won it down, but only as far as Falco. He goes looking for Kai Lucy. The good contest there. Handball out by the South Bunbury defence on to Crawford. He just whacks it inside 50. They fly.
That's a great
and
mark.
A terrific mark there taken
Lukey
by
Dale.
Dale. Dale goes LDL. Craney long down the line. Falco sits underneath it with Crawford. Ball comes off the deck. Really good work. Falco ends up back with the football.
Yeah, he just lost control of it just at the last minute, did
Carey flipped the
Falco.
handball out, but it was a bit hot for him.
Oh, he'd had it. He just, when he went to go again, it slipped out of his fingers.
So the ball right in front of the Donnybrook bench. Oh, sorry, it's the South Bunbury bench.
So Kev Chitty's gone to see if he can negate Kieran Hug a little bit.
One down by Chiblet, gathered by Clark. Gets a handball to Crawford. On the outside, good fist coming across, but it's marked by Bain. He goes inside immediately. Can't be marked there by Jarvis, and Donnybrook repel again, coming out to Fraser. With him, there's a foot race on with Higgins. Higgins applying pressure to Fraser, wraps him up. Incorrect disposal. Yes, it was. Now the advantage is Pace as they go inside, sitting underneath it. No mark. Jarvis. They
Free
still
kick
fight
paid
for the
though,
footy.
I think, Mac.
They've called a push in the back now. And it's coming back to Jarvis. Crane getting a little bit animated, not happy with the way his old mate Cormac's been treated. And it's going to Crane. Crane, he's got the free kick. And he pops it through from 0 metres out.
Not sure quite what happened there, but South Bunbury end up with the goal, Mac. There was a bit to do on the in that pocket just under the scoreboard. And Crane waltzed into an open goal.
And in the blink of an eye on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, South Bunbury 4-2-26, Donnybrook 5-3-33. Yeah, I think there was after the whistle went, I think they carried it on a bit, and there was something harsh that went on, so the umpire decided to walk him to the line.
We've got a good game of footy on our hands, haven't we? It's everything you'd want. It's quick, it's physical. No love lost between these two sides, and not much between the two sides at the moment.
And South Bunbury stung into gear, Craney. We said they need to lift their intensity, and that's exactly what they've done. Waldrett roaming that half-forward line.
He's been good, Waldrett.
Like a
He's
good
been
centre
working hard.
forward. Good centre half forward. He's gone into the middle of the ground now, Waldrett. And Giblet can't get his hands on that one as Waldrett marches out of the middle of the ground. Left foot, bang, inside 50. No one can mark. It's on in the contest. Picking it up quickly as Clark gets it on to Bain, who fires on goal. Oh, he's just shepherd out. Umpire said it was a block, and it was a goal anyway. And he's pointed, it's going to come back to Jarvis.
Umpire said it was touched.
Oh, righto.
So it's got to come back to Jarvis.
He's played on.
Shot.
He's
tried, but he's got to get called back up. But umpire said we need to do it our way.
And you got to go behind the mark.
You do, and he's correct in what he's saying. But this is another one for South Bunbury right on the line.
Yeah, and he just goes around the corner like he's having a kick in the playground at school, and they get back-to-back goals to South Bunbury, and suddenly on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, 5-2-32, South Bunbury trailing Donnybrook 5-3-33. Donnybrook have been stunned here early in the second quarter.
Well, that all stemmed from the middle. We talked about Donnybrook getting the clearances. That ball went down to Crane, who got it out to Waldrott on the run, and they got it in there quick, South Bunbury. They turned the tables a little bit on Donnybrook then, and as you said, 2 quick ones, and we have a very close ball game, a 1-point ball game, mate.
Absolutely. Just the way we like it, Craney. And they're going back to the middle of the ground for the 3rd time this quarter for Hyundai. Up they go. It's Hawkins wins this one down. And, there's been a hamstring. Gregory's done a hamstring, Craney. So Giblet's going to have to ruck the day. He looks in all sorts of bother, Gregory.
He pulled up very short then, didn't he?
Chitty. So he might have to go off to SKG Radiology. He gets it out to Sawyer on that far wing. Spots up Crawford. They're finding space now, South Bunbury, because they're prepared to run. Donnybrook have dropped off a little bit. Crawford goes high, just gets inside 50. They all fly, and he hug at the back, took the mark, not paid. Gets it off the boot, Lucy. Got it to Jackson, who was hit as he... it was Bo Lucy who was hit as he kicked it, and it's going to be down the ground. Going to be taken by Bedford, who kicked that beautiful soccer goal in round 1 to win the game, Craney.
Yes, that was a good memory, wasn't it? That was a good game of footy out there too.
Bedford goes into the corridor, and he finds Dale, who's been knocked up getting kicks this quarter, the skipper, leading from the front. They've been under pressure, the Dons. Siska's got up a bit, Ginger.
He did pull up very sore there, did Cade Siska.
SKG Radiology. Cooper Clark-Daring gets a hand on the ball. Chitty, he's upped his ante too this quarter as Kendall just rips it out of the arms. Coming through is Crawford. These players are like bulls. I'm loving this football. Crane goes in. Cooper Clark-Daring can't pick it up. Bedford does, gets a handle out. Perkisic has his head ripped off. And the umpire says, I need my head red. There's about 28 free kicks there, and he's just said, play on.
That was good. They let her play. That was a good contest.
Goodness me, they're having a good
old laugh. The players want to settle down a bit, though.
He's giving away a free. Far out, Brussels sprout. You just put his head back on, and he's got given away the free. The skipper, Chitty, goes down the wing. Giblet there, goes over his head. Blocked beautifully. Cormac. Jeez, he goes hard at the footy, Cormac.
Well, I tell you what, just down in front of us, that was as physical as it gets.
You can tell both sides really want this. And that's what you want from your top teams, don't you?
Well, that's what it's all about. Yeah. A very valuable 4 points on the line.
Donnybrook want to win this for real belief, that psychological edge. As the ball comes back in for Hyundai, it's one down by Hawkins, who's starting to even things up with Giblet. Socket off the ground by Nordal. Waldron on the left. Fires on goal. Goes across the face for a behind. Come on, Cade.
He's having a couple of cracks at it, isn't he? All right.
Scores a level here on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard.
And I think that's about indicative of where the game is.
Absolutely. But they have come out with a whole nother gear this quarter, South Bunbury. You just wonder what might have happened if Fraser had kicked that first goal in the second quarter. Shannon brings the ball into play. Left foot, big, long drop, punt out to the far side.
There can't be too much breeze out. That ball carried nicely.
Absolutely.
Oh, well done, big fella.
Hawkins got it out to Crawford, who's been serviceable. Hacks it forward. There's Bo Lucy. Gave it to Pettit, and he was just absolutely mauled. And the umpire's going to ball it up.
You love that. Players are making that extra little bit of effort to close off the contest, and you've got to love it.
And they're tackling with intent, Craney.
That Bunbury mower service, I just about got my whole side ticked down here.
Falco can't get the footy. If Crawford had us again, Parker brings him down. Umpire says holding the ball. Both sides for Bunbury mower service are having a crack at the tackles.
That was excellent by Dion Parker, snuck up on Crawford.
Parker, just a little chip up the wing. Good by Hutton, or should have marked that. He got talked out of it by the South Bunbury pressure. That's the nicest way I could put it. Ethan Nordal gets it down the wing and finds Jai Clark. Just goes high and long into the pocket. Johnson on the chest. So he's going to kick from about the junction of 50 in the boundary, Craney.
He had to use every bit of his pace in Johnson, didn't he? It was a bit of a kick and hope, and Johnson made the very most of it.
Every bit of his
This will tell you what, this will be a good goal, Macca. Yep. This is right under the scoreboard.
He'll kick from just inside 50, right side for a left footer.
He can watch himself if he wants.
Yeah, he can. In he comes, off that right boot, puts it up there. to the top of the square. They fly. Noah Marks and a big fist through from Shannon. And Donnybrook are hanging on for grim death here as South Bunbury take the lead at 5-4-34, 5-3-33, courtesy of Southwest Isuzu Utes. Pettit had the footy. Took the mark from the kick out. Plays on now. Goes long down the line. Comes to this grandstand wing right in front of the commentary box. Kai losing marked it, but the umpire said it was touched.
It bounced off the South Bunbury chest and ended up in Lucy's hand. So good call by Scotty Jones.
Higgins was the one who got a hand on it. Giblet, just man muscles, but only as far as Chitty. Gets a kick on it, just as well as he did. Hug gets a handball to Bedford. Bedford to Shannon. He's tackled as he get rid of the footy. They play on. They win the ball back to South Bunbury. Hawkins goes back to Ethan Nordell. Jai Clark has his kick smothered. And now Gerard streaks through, fumbles it. Oh, goodness gracious me. And a handball, there was no one inside. Comes back to Parker. Hutton not getting involved. Lays a tackle for Bunbury Mower Service. Gerard over the right shoulder, inside 50. Falls over the back. Setting off after it is Carey. Can you pick it up, Bozo? No, he can't. It stays in line. And there's a big spiral out of defence by South Bunbury. Back up to the wing. Giblet, best place to mark. Couldn't. Perkasic. Long on the right boot, back inside 50 for the Dons. They fire. Cooper Clark Daring. Cooper Clark Daring, the X Factor kid, just took an absolute screamer. It was a big chance of
CPR mark of the day. I've got a big tick against that one. Gee, that was a good grab.
Even if you can go back and put it through, Cooper, we might even give you a chance for WA Carpet Supermarket goal of the day as well, because
that's what he's got, hasn't it, that factor? That was outstanding.
This is a pressure goal. They've been getting smacked this quarter. Daring, worse than 45 degrees, right side for a left footer. Clark Daring fires on goal! Cross the face for a behind.
Gee, I tell you what, I still got a big tick against that mark.
Scores a level. Feels like we're in the last stages of the last quarter here, but that's what the game's bringing.
Oh, it's high intensity.
Geez, I'm glad I made the drive, Alan.
It is well worth it. Such a good product we've got, Southwest Footy League. Players will be loving this too. This is what you play the game for.
Tommy Gorder runs in, gets that stat for bringing the ball out of defence. Bang, they fly right down the middle of the ground. Head over the footy, Cormac. Picked up by Shannon and Donnybrook. Gets it to Hug. Another stat for him. Comes back to him from Hutton. Hutton head over the footy now. There's a heap of Tigers around him. Crane shovels it out to Ethan Nordell. Goes underground to Pedley. Picks it up. He's tackled by Jackson. Throws it away. Parker just gets a toe on it. Players are tired early. Nordell picks it up again. Daring, X Factor. Nordell comes and brings him to the ground.
I tell you what, there's a bit of talent in them too, isn't there? Cooper Clark Daring and Ethan Nordell. They are two of the very, very best young talent in the Southwest Footy League.
Cooper Clark Daring was clean and Nordell just wrapped him up. They go up. Giblet wins this one down. Just at the top of the 50 for Donnybrook, and there's a free kick going to the Dons for over the shoulder. It's going to Shannon, who's played pretty well so far. Daring on the lead. He goes the other way.
That's
all
a
on
clever
his Pat
kick.
Malone. And that's Trigwell.
That was absolutely brilliant. And Trigwell just made a bit of a move to the pocket. Everyone was looking to goal square, and he just tugged it around there. I'm going to say he meant it, Macca, because I thought that was absolutely superb. That gives Zachy Trigwell a chance for his second for the afternoon.
I reckon he's on a 30-degree angle. He'll be kicking from about 25 metres. Right side for a left footer. He's got to aim for the right goal post, Craney. In he comes. Sets sail, and he does exactly that. Straight through the eye, diddle, the big centre half forward. And Donnybrook hit back on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. It's 6-4-40 to South Bunbury, 5-4-35. This game is giving us everything, Ellen.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Ned Shannon, though. Take a bit about. I'm going to say you meant that because everyone thought you were going to the top of the goal square. You pulled it around the corner. Well, Zachy Trigwood on a nice lead, and that was superb. Forget about this kicking around the corner stuff, Macca. That's how you kick a goal. Laid back on the drop punt, as you said. Ball drifted a bit from right to left. He done it absolutely superb.
Now he's not that quick, Trigwell, is he?
No, not as quick as me and you, mate.
He's got on the lead a couple of times, Crane. We said South Bunbury in that back line, they like to sag off for the big kick in. Might be time to just follow him around a bit. He's kicked 2 goals. Up they go. Down from Pedley. Giblet roves it and then hacks it forward. Donnybrook are inspired. Cooper Clark, Deering and Gorda. Cooper Clark, Deering hurled without it. Just lets Tommy Gorda know, this old-timer. Now, he's probably got this CCD, I reckon. He'll have to kick it from 55. It is into the breeze.
It'll take a good roost from here, but if there's one fellow who can do it.
He's going to have a crack. 45-degree angle, right side for a left footer. He goes long and strong. It goes to the left. Comes off hands.
Oh, there's a... I thought there's a mark
there
taken
is
down
a mark
there.
taken by Trigwell.
Trigwell's taken the mark. That was an outstanding grab.
Zach Trigwell is inspired at the moment.
Yeah, Horsman's no easy task, and he was right on him, and Zach Trigwell just pinched it out of the air.
So he's got his eyes on the footy. He's plucking everything. He's getting it on the lead. His confidence is sky high. Goes around the corner on the right boot, keeps it low, and it's only a behind.
Kept it low. There was no one on the goal square.
I think it was just a mistimed kick. Didn't get the purchase he would like. Tom Gorda bring the ball back into play. Just a chip pass this time. Got it to his teammate there in Galloway. Galloway goes outside 50 now. Ball comes back inside Versace. Umpire says play on it. In any case, he didn't mark it. They still go hard at it, and the umpire's going to ball it up just inside 50 for Donnybrook. They dearly love another goal here into the breeze. 23 minutes gone in this second quarter, and it has been an absolute ripper. Kendall goes after the football, picked up by Chitty. He kicks it over his shoulder. Ball hits some pitches. Donnybrook regain control. That's good work from them. Comes into the corridor. Kai Lucy. That was Fraser that got it to him. Lucy now on his left boot. Out to the pocket on the lead. Oh, good strong mark. Brilliant work there by Christian Bozo Carey.
Just around the ground, Sue thinks a Geograph Civil. Dunsborough 10-10-70 to the Collie Eagles 9-7-61. Good game of footy going on at Dunsborough playing fields.
Carey, he'll be kicking from 45. It's a lot worse than 45 degrees the angle, probably about 30 degrees. And it's a right side for a right footer. Hang it out on that right goal post and let the breeze bring it back in. In he comes. Confident approach, does the skip, hits it from 50. It's not a bad looking drop punt, but it's gone to the left.
Gee, they've stemmed the flow though, Donnybrook, and they got the game back on their terms.
Kicking,
South Bunbury had a fair bit of it early on this quarter.
Kicking a lot of points. So the ball's come back into play. They play on now. It's gone out to the far side. Oh, what a screamer!
But once again, it's they're kicking to a 3-on-1. Donnybrook have set up a beautiful zone. And if you're going to just bang it down, you need to run that ball out of defence if you're South to try and bust through that zone.
Fraser just launched into that.
Yeah, we're going to give him a bit of a nomination too for a CPR Outdoors Mark of the Day.
And Hug received it from him and then went inside, and it just trickles over the boundary line just inside 50 for the Dons. Over in front of the scoreboard for Southwest Isuzu Utes, which reads 5-6-36 to Donnybrook 6-6-42. They've bounced back after being stung early in this quarter, Craney.
Yeah, they've bounced back very nicely. Just regained a bit of control.
It's one down by Pedley, but picked up by Parker. Snaps it on the right bit over the shoulder. Quarter read at best. That was an important mark. Cooper Clark Dering's risen to the occasion this quarter. And looks like he's going to do anything. As McCosker brings it, his kick smothered. And then in turn, Baines' kick was smothered. Ball still in dispute at centre half forward for Donnybrook. Perkisic gets it out to Kai Lucy. He then gets it to Carey, who just smacks it forward. Cooper Clark Dering can't mark. Parker sets off after. If it sits up for him, he could be in. Wheels around now on the left boot. Just mongrels one into the pocket. Where are you, Hutton? Overruns it. And run out of defence by Callaway by hand. Then he gave it on to Higgins.
Here, once again, their wall has been set up nicely, so it's going to come straight back in the Dons.
So Jackson, he passed the footy off to a teammate who marked it, and then he's gone inside to Perkisic. So that was McCosker. Perkisic too far out to score. Right boot, low worm burner inside. 50. Cooper Clark, Darren Carmark. Picked up by Kerry outside of the right boot. Smothered. Lucy, bang! Knocks him over like Skittles. Pedley gets the ball up. Daring off the ground. He's got it. He's got it. And that is a contender for the WA Carpet Supermarket goal of the day.
I tell you what, Donnybrook have been outstanding here. They stopped the flow and all of a sudden they brought it back in, but they're setting up a wall. They are just not letting South Bunbury exit their back line. So every time it comes out, it goes to a 3 or a 4-on-1 Donnybrook players to 1 South Bunbury. South Bunbury got to run that through that zone to work it.
Yeah, and you know, it goes to show what a good side they are because
Cade Siska coming off through the Harvey 9 interchange bench, looking a bit proppy.
A bit worse for wear. I think that was him in the square. I called Pedley, but I think it was Cisco who was in the square there trying to bring the ball out of defence. But it shows a good side when they got smacked in the first part of the quarter the way they did to be able to come back to the level they have, because a lot of sides wouldn't be able to do that as Pedley wins the ball in the ruck.
And I'll tell you what else it's going to do. It's going to really challenge the Tigers to see where they're sitting.
27 and a half minutes gone on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. 5-5 South Bunbury 35 to Donnybrook 7-6 48. Ball one down by Pedley again. Waldrett hard at it. They're going to ball it up for the third time for Hyundai. Make sure you get to their end of financial year sale happening down at Hyundai if you're looking for a new bus. It's one down by Pedley again. Hutton head over the footy with Sawyer.
They're hunting in numbers, Donnybrook.
Hutton in there again. There's the siren for half time, and on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, South Bunbury 5-5-35, Donnybrook 7-6-48. It's a 13-point lead to the Dons. Craney, it is on like Donkey Kong here at Hands.
Absolute beauty, wasn't it? A great first half of footy. Two sides going hammer and tong. You cannot question the endeavour from any of these players. It's been absolutely brilliant, and we'll be back after the break for the Hollow Beach Bar and Grill halftime chat. To the Southwest football. It is halftime at Hands, and Donnybrook 7-6-48. They lead South Bunbury 5 goals, 5-35. This is the Hollow Beach Bar and Grill halftime chat, and we have been privileged to watch an outstanding half of footy. Donnybrook had very well in the first quarter, and then they had the better of most of that second quarter, and then they fought back and they did it very, very well. Macca, their zone work, outstanding. They just wouldn't let South Bunbury exit that forward zone.
Yeah, we spoke about it in the first quarter that they were on for the points, and they were setting up very quickly if they kicked a point to make it hard for South Bunbury to kick out. But in the second part of that second quarter, after they were stunned initially, South Bunbury bring the ball out of defence, and it wasn't getting past the centre line. And that's a credit to Donnybrook. They stuck to it when it would have been easy to just fall away.
It's going to be interesting to see how South Bunbury handle this, because other sides have normally fallen away when they put a bit of pressure on. The Dons turned that around, so they've thrown the challenge right back at South Bunbury. They go in with a bit of a deficit at half time, but being challenged.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Coach Julian Burgess, he probably wouldn't, he'll give it to his players, but he'd probably be happy for them to be in this situation so he can see what sort of response he can get, which will give him an understanding of the type of mindset they've got this season. And he'll be wanting them to fight back, and then he'll be able to use it later on to say, I know that when you're challenged, you can respond.
Little bit of drizzle going across Hands Oval at the moment. The goal kickers for Donnybrook, Zach Triggle has 2. One to Parker, one to Kerry. Good to see. He's been a good inclusion, hasn't he?
Absolutely.
Kerry, and Hutton has 1 as well as Hug. And for South Bunbury, Crane has 1, Clark has 1, Waldrod 1, Johnson has 1, and Jarvis has 1. They're doing a good job on the South Bunbury forwards. The big forward in Johnson. They're pushing back. Giblet's had him for a while. Dale's had him for a while. They're swapping their members through. But Giblet's been a bit of a revelation running through the centre in that first half. You said before they need to get on the front foot, and they did. They got him on the ball straight away.
They did, and when they brought Hawkins into the middle on him, that started to even things up a bit. He's a bit of a bigger body, Hawkins, and could cross the line and sort of block Giblet's run to the ball a little, and that helped South to get on top. One thing that's interesting, Craney, that we haven't said to our listeners is that 3 of the out of the 5 goals for South Bunbury, 3 of them have been marched to the square. So
You're right.
they're three reasonably easy goals that they've got from free kicks and 50 metres. So be interesting to see what may have transpired if those 50 metres hadn't been given. And Donnybrook, they might have a little bit of a word at half-time about disciplined acts. And love your physicalness. I love the way that you're committed to the football, but just know when the right time is.
You don't need to give away any ground, especially in a game like this. This is the Hollow Beach Bar and Grill half-time chat. We'll be back after the break for the second half of the clash between South Bunbury and Donnybrook. This is the Hollow Beach Bar and Grill half-time chat. It's a lovely spot to sit there and have a quiet beverage and a bit of a meal. Thanks to Honda also and Cash for Cans for your support this afternoon. Half-time at Hands Oval. Both sides back out on the field. A little bit gloomy. We had a fairly chilly shower of rain go. Oh, it looks chilly out there. It's nice and snuggly where we are, Macca. But, both sides back out on the ground for what promises to be a very interesting second half. First half, well, that had all that. It had highlights. It had toughness. There was a little passage of play right in front of us that was absolutely brutal at times. Now, I know you don't like this one, mate, but I'm going to throw it at you. Big moments for Buckingham's. Buckingham the Butchers inside the Bunbury Plaza. What's your big moment?
There have been a few big moments for Buckingham the Butchers, Craney, that's for sure. I reckon quarter time, free kick after the siren, Zach Trigwell going back and kicking truly. That has been a massive big moment, I reckon.
I've got another one for you too, Macca.
Yep.
Who's hot at half-time thanks to Jen Vanetti, Firewood, Bunbury, fend off the cold with Gianna Vanetti, Firewood, Bunbury. That's at who's hot at half-time.
Geez, they have been hot all over the ground, a lot of players at half-time. I think Cooper Clark-Dering in the second part of that quarter really lifted, took some great marks.
In the first quarter, it was Kieran Hugg.
Yeah, without a doubt.
They threw Chitty onto Hugg and just quietened him down a little bit.
And also Dering then took that screamer, missed the goal, but then he got that soccer off the ground. It helped stretch the league. But then you've got, Craney, he's been hot for South Bunbury. He's had to lift when the needed to be cracking. Bain's been strong all game. We've spoken about him already. Clayton Giblett going to underestimate the effect that he has been having in the middle of the ground. And Perkisic too, I think, might have been racking him up. As has Shannon from Donnybrook.
Shannon's going. Just a quick injury report for SKG Radiology. Get the right results every time. Makoska looks like a hamstring.
Yeah, and Siska's back on the ground. He limped off earlier, but he's back on the ground.
Crane has gone into the middle along with Chitty, who's running with
Gregory did a hamstring.
Kieran Hugg. Gregory, was it, that done the hamstring?
Yeah, the ruckman.
And Mitch Bain. So they got the big guns in the middle.
Pass me my eyes, please, Craney.
And the binoculars go this way. Second half, Southwest Football League action. SEN Spirit and Darren McDonald.
Up they go for Hyundai. Giblett picks up where he left off, winning another knock. Chitty has the ball. He's been hot too today, Craney. Chitty after halfway through the first quarter.
Oh, that's
as Fraser took off,
tackle.
And then for Bunbury mower service, Jace Cormack decides to join the party.
Gee, we're going to throw that one in as a tackle of the day, Bunbury mower service. That was a beauty.
They'd like a bit more out of Cormack with his star power in this second half. He brings it across the ground to Higgins, who's tried valiantly. Now they've got Sitska hard up against the boundary line, still way too far out to score. Johnson leads, that's ignored. Still got some players running into space. He goes to the hot spot where there's no players left, and Falco juggles a contested mark.
That wasn't percentage at all. We were right behind that one.
And he did that over the back of Jarvis. Chip pass to Fraser. Plays on. Jarvis runs him down. All players really willing. Coming out to the footy is Pettit, who played a pretty good first quarter. First half. Gets it over to Kendall. He's bundled off by Ethan Nordell. Bodie Nordell, was it?
Bodie it was.
Bodie Nordell. Got it back to Cormac. Crane goes whack. And then sitting underneath it in defence was Fraser. Plays on immediately. Ball's got back into the hands of Mitchell Bain, and he's brought it out to a teammate. Umpire, still a little bit going on, and Kai Lucy's going to be penalised.
I think it's back
and
to
it's 50 metres.
50 again. Wow.
So this could be the fourth goal to South Bunbury from a 50-metre penalty. He's marching him into the square.
Young Bodie Nordell, South Bunbury out on the outer side. He was a 2 against 1. He just worked hard to win the situation and put him back into this situation. Not quite sure what's going out there. Maybe just...
And Craney, they haven't been able to get the ball past centre so far this quarter, the Dons, as Higgins marches in, dead in front, 20 metres out, makes the umpire work and misses. There are footy gods. On the LJ Hooker Property Services scoreboard, it is South Bunbury 6-5-35 to Donnybrook 7-6-48.
Just go around the ground, sinks to Geograph Civil. Good game going on out at Eaton. Busselton 8-2-50. They lead Eaton 7-5-47, and looks like Dunsborough have done enough to defeat the Collie Eagles up at Dunsborough.
And Craney's expert comments today brought to you by MGIB, just like a good neighbour, as we're at the right half forward flank for South Bunbury. Bang! Cormac went whack, the ball spilled out, went to Bodie Nordell. He went over the top to Galloway. He fumbled first and regathered. Mongrel into the forward line. They fly. No one can take the mark. Dale gets a fist on it. There's bodies flying everywhere still, and this game has lost nothing in the half-time break.
No, they didn't settle down any into. I love the tackling, the want to tackle. Sometimes there's a difference between wanting to and then just pretending. These boys are all in.
So Giblet going at it with Chitty. Chitty takes it out of the ruck and then hooks it around the corner. Waiting there in defence was McCosker. Plays on. Big long kick finds Kendall. Kendall can't mark. Ball spills to Bain. Chips it inside. No mark taken by Chitty. Ball goes to ground. Players fight for it. Comes out the back. And that was Dale that goes whack. Kai Lucy all on his Pat Malone. Goes for a run. Has a bounce at half back. Then goes off the left boot up the wing looking for Cooper Clark-Derring. He picks it up off the deck. Well done, young fella. Gets a handball out to a teammate who fires it on to Kai Lucy, who's run on. Inside 50. They go hard for it. That was Carey. Couldn't mark it, and the ball trickles over the line. There'll be a boundary throw-in.
The work rate of these players has been outstanding. Bo Lucy on the outer side out. He just kept on running. Cooper Clark-Derring, very good against. That's been a good battle for GRF Civil, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
Cooper Clark-Derring and Agorda.
Geez, there's some class in those two players, isn't there?
There's a class on this field all up, Mac.
Absolutely. So there'll be a ball in just in front of the LJ Hooker Southwest Property Southwest scoreboard.
You know they've got offices Dunsborough, Bunbury, Busselton, Collie, and of course Bunbury.
So it means you can buy a property anywhere in the Southwest.
Exactly right.
One down by Horsman. Cormac sharks it. Gets a handball out to Sawyer. He soccers off the deck. Asks a little bit too much of Crane and the ball trickles over the line. Insufficient intent.
Insufficient.
So Jackson has the football for the Dons and he'll be able to pump it inside if he wants. Hugs telling him to go there and that's where he goes. Right into the hot spot. They fly. No one can mark. First to arrive is South Bunbury. They get a handball. It's not clean though. Now it is. Here comes Bain. Has a bounce. Running it out of D50. Thumps it up to the wing. Lane. Drops what he should have taken.
Look at the numbers here, 2-on-1.
Here's McCosker. Head over the footy. Well done, son. To Gerard. Gets it to Bedford. Chip to Hug. Oh, juggles it. Now he has to put his head over it. Coming in is Siska. Looking at the umpire, and there's going to be balled up just inside the boundary line forward to centre wing for the Dons. Craney, the desperation from both these sides.
Yeah. But once again, Donnybrook got numbers behind the footy and stopped the exit for the Tigers.
But the perceived pressure is causing errors as well.
Absolutely is.
Crane gets it to Cormac. Cormac's taken over the line, and they're going to do it all again for Hyundai.
There'll be some tired players at the end of this one, Mac.
Absolutely. I'd be asking my boss for the day off tomorrow. And in they come, Hawkins and Giblet. Goes over the back, Giblet. First quick to react. Picks the ball up off the deck. Goes inside. 50. Trigwell can't quite mark it.
Oh, I reckon he's got a kick, though.
He's won a free.
No, Horsman had arms around him when he dropped it.
Tell you what, he's worried him today, Trigwell, hasn't he?
Yeah, when it comes onto a one-on-one.
Zach Trigwell showing some of that state country form that he's been known to be picked for in those sides.
It's just good to see him back out there after he had a lot of trouble with that shoulder last year. And you want to see your best players out on the track, and he's definitely one of them.
Dead in front, kicking with a slight breeze, and will kick from just inside 50. Towards the city end he goes. Trots in, 49 metres. Bang, bang,
Wow,
bang.
that is
a
a
6-pointer. That is Zach Triggle at his finest, Alan. And on the LJ Hooker Properties Southwest scoreboard at South Bunbury, 5-5. 35 to Donnybrook, 8-6, 54.
Yeah, South had all the momentum in that first few minutes of that quarter, but they just couldn't put a score on the board, and Donnybrook run it down, and Zachy Triggle, we're just watching the replay of that. That's how you kick a goal.
That's
just lean back on
beautiful
that.
Drop
and
punt.
that did not deviate. Straight over. That makes the goal umpire's job pretty easy, doesn't it, Mac?
And that's his third for the day, Craney. That's his third for the day. The only multiple goal kicker on the ground.
Yeah, and he becomes a problem every time he goes down. In fact, the whole Donnybrook forward line's becoming a bit of an issue.
Giblet, you know, doing the work in the air and on the ground. He wins this one down to Giblet, taken by Falco. He's been pretty serviceable today as well. Crawford picks it up. He's brought to ground. And they'll ball it up just forward to centre for the Dons.
The tackling has been an absolute feature.
Bunbury mower service.
Absolute feature. I don't know. There's heaps of them.
One down by Giblet to Falco. Again, these two are striking up a wonderful partnership. Goes over the back. Versace can't quite handle it, and then the umpire said he's held without it, and he wins a free kick.
He did that well, Rocco. Didn't take possession. He just held it back a little bit.
So he then goes further down the wing, and Crawford.
But this is their problem. They can't find an out.
They need to get that run on. They need to
run it through the zone.
Yeah,
They're not
running through the lines.
They're trying to go over top of this zone, and it's not working.
Another short pass. He finds Cormac. But they need – see, he's getting a lot of stagnant football. They need him with his run. He hits Bain on the chest. He's worked tirelessly today. Love Mitchell Bain as a footballer. Just behind centre wing he goes. He goes, bang, that's a long drop punt. Up the line they go. Big fly from Hawkins, can't mark. Ball's on the deck, in dispute. Trying to get it out to Ethan Nordell, but they
once
can't.
Again, it's to a contest, Mac. We're looking for that run behind so they can get the overlap run.
Yep. Absolutely. It's not the way South Bunbury would normally play.
Which is a credit to Donnybrook.
Absolutely. Pressure's on. One down by Giblet. Taken by Falco, who's really started this quarter in fine fashion. He gives us the ball out the back to Shannon, and he goes into the middle of the ground. Well attacked by Trigwell. Gets a handball to Perkisic, who's
he copped one on the way
something.
Through.
Oh!
No, he just copped one on the way through that pulled him up. Umpires were all over that.
So Perkisic, now he's got the free kick, he's recovered. Wobbles one inside 50. Chaos ball, if you like. Bozo Carey and Rocco Versace get after it. And Versace does enough for the ball to trickle over the line.
It's a bit like Melbourne with the bright sunshine nowadays.
In front of the Harvey Norman electrical scoreboard. Get down to their superstore, Craney.
Superstore Bunbury.
In Bunbury, Harvey Norman.
Get yourself a big TV. If you can't get to the game, watch the SEN.
Here comes
Spirit.
the debutant boundary umpire. Brings the ball back into play beautifully, the young fella. It's one down by Cooper Clark-Daring against Gorda, and Kendall, as he so often is at the bottom of the pack, getting his head buried into the dirt.
They're really challenging the Tigers, are the Dons.
It's in the forward line for Donnybrook now. Taken off the deck. Oh, Perkisic struck again. Umpire says play on. Cormac mongrels the ball out of defence, and it lands in the lap of Clayton Giblet, pushing his case for 3 votes today. Goes whack to the lead of Cooper Clark-Daring, who couldn't quite mark it, and it goes off hands and over the line in front of the Harvey Norman electrical
Terrific
scoreboard.
crowd in at hands too. The atmosphere out there is very good.
Oh, it's a great day to be at the footy.
Where else would you be, Mac? This is perfect, isn't it?
It is. I love spending my time at the footy. Don't tell my wife that. On a Sunday. Ball comes in. Goes over the back. Picked up by Galloway. Can't quite get away clean. He picks it up, but he's brought to ground pretty quickly. This game's taking it out of me, Craney. Keep tripping over my tongue.
Well, it's just been full on from the start, Mac. From the very first ball up, it has just been a terrific contest.
Just at the top of 50 for Donnybrook. We've balled it up for Hyundai. Hacked forward beautifully by Pettit. Ball trickles through. Versace, is it Nordell or Versace gets after it? South Bunbury look like they're going to clear. It's Bodie Nordell going after it, and he sees it over the line.
They're under pressure, though. Every time South just can't find the exit, Donnybrook are just locking it in that forward zone.
We're in a little bit of a stalemate. No side can really get the footy clear. It's contest to contest stuffed at the moment. Ball comes back into play for Hyundai. One down by Trigwell. Jackson couldn't quite pick it up. Laying on the ground is Ethan Nordell, trying to pretend he might get pinged for holding if he's not careful. It wasn't a real legitimate attempt to get it out, Ellen.
He didn't pretend too well, did he?
Lucky he had his back to the umpire, I reckon. So they're 10 metres out, 15 metres out from Donnybrook goal, and Ethan Nordell kicks it off the deck. They sit underneath it. Hutton gets a fist to it, picked up by Pettit. He's brought to ground by Chitty in no uncertain terms. The umpire said holding the ball. Poor old Kieran Pettit hardly had an opportunity. But Chitty's got the footy now, and he's been a good contributor today, Alan. Gets a handball out to Crane.
This is where they've got to find. They've got to go up the lines once again to a 2-on-1.
And Dale just judges that magnificently and takes a good mark in the air. He goes forward, and he's just spotted up Higgins on the chest for South. Now, Crawford's all on his own on the outer side. Right in the corridor, takes a mark on his chest. They needed someone to be running by quickly. He wheels around on his left foot, all waiting out there beautifully, taking a
now
nice...
they got a man on the outside.
A nice mark was Jarvis. He's too far out. Comes into the corridor to Galloway. They're still 70 metres out from goal. Galloway's kick smothered beautifully by McCosker. Puts his head over the footy. Galloway fights for it still. What's the umpire going to do? He's going to ball it up 60 metres out.
Gee, you love
from
those
South Bunbury goal.
1%ers, don't you?
Well,
South Bunbury were over the top and just a nice smother.
That's McCosker. Not much of him, but there was all heart there. Ball not won by the ruck. Umpire said ruckman held, and it's going to go the way of Clayton Giblett. Another stat to him, mate.
He's been racking them up.
Here he goes up, straight up the line. Ball comes to ground. Falco gets it to Shannon. Liked his game today. Handball to Fraser. Back to Shannon. Chip pass out to the grandstand side on the wing. Perkisic finds
had a pretty handy day himself.
Well and truly. Shannon just running off half-back's been dynamite. Goes into the corridor. Suddenly it's opening up for the Dons. Falco to Dale. Inside 50. Picked up by Higgins for South Bunbury. Gets it to Gorder and they repel attack once more. Crane on the chest. Plays on quickly. That's what we've been asking for. Crawford on his left peg. Floats it up and it's going to go over the boundary line.
On the full.
Is it on the full? Yep. So to be brought back into play by McCosker.
Interesting stage of the game.
Looking for options. On his right boot, just straight down the line. Gerard and Crane. Crane gets it to ground. Cormac picks it up. Flying by there was Waldred on his left foot. Puts it out in front of Jarvis. Good gather by him, but Bo Lucy just manages to apply enough pressure to get him across the line.
The thing I like about the tackling from both sides is disciplined.
Oh.
You know, they're so easy to give away kicks like that. They're not. They're thinking about what they're attacking. In this day and age, there's a bit of an art to that.
Yeah. And we are 15 minutes gone in this third
Thanks
quarter.
to SKG too. Get your scans done at SKG. And MGIB, like a good neighbour. MGIB is there. One
down by Hawkins. It's wrapped up again, 60 metres out from Donnybrook goal on the far side, and South Bunbury goal on the far side. Falco wins a free kick in the scrimmage. Tries to kick it up to Cooper Clark-Derring, who sees it over the line.
That's a great contest, Cooper Clark-Derring and Gorder. It is. Tom Gorder.
It's good learnings for Cooper Clark-Derring. We know he's at South Fremantle at the moment, but to be playing on a quality player like Gorder, who was on West Coast Eagles list, it's going to be good learnings for Cooper Clark-Derring.
But it's also, Tommy, from peeling off too much, because you peel off Cooper Clark and you're going to be in a bit of trouble. So
yes,
it's just a terrific contest.
So Hawkins and Giblett to go at it again on the far centre wing. One taken out by Giblett. He's brought to ground by a pack of Tigers. Falco, he goes to ground. And South Bunbury through Chitty and then Jai Clark get out of trouble.
To a 2-on-1 again.
Cormac head over the footy, taken high. Yeah, he's the master at that.
And Scotty Jones all over that. He's going to ball that one up.
Oh, I thought he might have been signalling high. So just forward to centre for South Bunbury.
Gee, they need one here, the Tigers.
Absolutely. Up they go. One down by Giblett. Taken by Dale. Hacks it forward again. And right onto the chest of Jacob Kendall. Plays on immediately to the running Shannon. has a bounce through the middle of the ground, gets to 55 and goes long and strong. Mongrel floater out of bounds, which isn't a bad result for Donnybrook because they get the stoppage in their forward line.
Well, it was Jay Ryder pant back there for the Tigers, and it went out in the pocket, so they get in time to reset. It is all the Dons at the moment, Macca.
Yeah, they're just not getting reward on the scoreboard, Craney, now, which they need to. So on that,
It's getting a bit dull out there too. Maybe flick the lights on.
LJ Hooker property scoreboard, it's 5-5-35 to Donnybrook 8-6-54. They're leading by 19 points as South Bunbury clear the stoppage again. Picked up by Bain, gets it out to Pedley. He can't gather it with Giblet right with him. Crawford sockers it on his favoured left. Coming there is Jarvis. Umpire says we'll throw it in right in front of the commentary box. Thanks for coming. Whoa. He's going to throw it in for Hyundai. Pedley and Giblet. Giblet just pushes off, takes the ball out of the ruck and gets another kick. Forward they go. Waiting at the back is Higgins. Storming through was Hug, couldn't pick it up. Sawyer's there, trying to lend support. Picked up by Jackson, then they set upon him like flies around a honeypot.
That's a couple of times Giblet's done that. He's worked the South ruckman underneath and taken it over the back. You just need to be a bit more aware.
He's using his body magnificently. Here he goes again, wins this tap. Cormac thumps it through. Perkisic takes the ball and drives it inside 50. No mark could be taken there by Carey, and it trickles over the line, and they will throw it in just in the left forward pocket for the Dons.
I like the thought that's going in. All players actually thinking about the game.
Absolutely. It comes back into play. Daring thrown out of it by Chitty, who gets a big fist on it. Higgins throws it on the right boot, and out of defence comes South Bunbury again. Nordal flies, couldn't take it. Siska, good little handball out to Bain. He trickles it down the wing. Here comes Giblet. Oh, just couldn't keep it in play. And he had Bodie Nordal with him. And
pretty good result that for the Tigers, because Donnybrook had the numbers once again.
It's really hard to get any free flow for either side, isn't
absolutely.
it?
It's tight, it's tough in the contest.
It's contest.
It's hot in the kitchen, Mac.
Contest to contest, that's what we're looking for. And it goes over the back. Pedley's kick smothered there by Shannon. It's taken by Clark. The ball spills out to Perkisic, and he's bombed long inside 50. The umpire's found a free. And it's going South Bunbury's way. Versace to take that. And he's battling on manfully. Goes across to the pocket to find the distributor in Gorda. Left foot bullet. Doesn't quite get there.
Oh, that's a good tackle.
Sawyer, and that should be holding the ball.
Outstanding tackle.
Parker. Good
Bunbury looking for a Bunbury mower service tackle. There's been some good ones all day, but that one by Dion Parker, absolute beauty.
He's been involved in a couple of them, I think. Dion Parker, and he's turned what looked like it could have been a defensive rappel into a shot at goal. 45-degree angle, right side for a left footer. Will kick from 45. Away he goes. Good long drop punt. Across the face and fisted through for a behind. So on the LJ Property Southwest scoreboard, LJ Hooker Property Southwest scoreboard, it's South Bunbury 5-5-35. Donnybrook 8-7-55, 20 points the margin.
Yeah, South Bunbury just can't get it up their end. It's quite simple as that.
Bain gives a handball out to Sawyer, and they've run it out of defence. It's up on centre wing now. Giblet for Donnybrook just shrugs off the table, pushes off a handball to McCosker. He's given a fair bit of pressure, and now it's going to be thrown in right on that far centre wing. And this might be time to put the lights on,
I was
Alan.
just about to say, has someone got the light switch around the place?
So
he's getting very dull out across Anne's Oval.
Pedley and Giblet. One down by Giblet. Taken by Jackson. Gets a handball out to a teammate.
Worked.
Shannon drives it inside 50. They fly, goes over the back. There's a foot race on. Can they keep it in? No, they can't. Now it'll be a ball in the left forward pocket for Donnybrook. Jeez, it's been a lot of play.
That unbeaten run by the South Bunbury Footy Club starting to look a bit dodgy, isn't it? I know there's still a quarter to go, but they're working hard.
But Donnybrook aren't capitalising, Alan, with all the inside 50s they have. They are not capitalising. One down by Cooper Clark Daring, smacked away by Higgins. Daring comes at it again. Can he find a boot? Tries to handball it. Umpire's just going to ball it up about 30 metres out from Donnybrook's goal. Almost dead in front. Up they go. Daring and Gorda. One down by Clark Daring. Umpire's found a free kick, and it's going to Donnybrook. It's going to Bozo Carey. Christian Carey.
Christian Carey. What a game for him to start, Christian Carey. So
he's already got a goal, and he's lining up for his second, almost dead in front. And that was as he moved through the contest, he was taken high. So, Christian Carey. It's his first game for Donnybrook.
Yes,
Craney.
yes. And
the former Perth Demon. Played a lot of league footy at Perth.
Yeah, he's got a very decorated WAFL career, hasn't he? And I think he will just put this one through.
He has. He's made no mistake, and that is an important goal in the context of this game. It's been a real stalemate. A lot of footy in the Donnybrook forward line without much result. And on the LJ Hooker Southwest Property scoreboard, South Bunbury 5-5-35 need to get into gear as Donnybrook go 9-7-61.
Yeah, they're under enormous pressure of the Tigers now. Looks like Blaine Johnson might be coming in the middle because they're getting a bit smacked around the contest. They have all day, and Donnybrook have been looking very good. Thanks to Cash for Cans too for recycling made easy. But this has been an interesting convert.
I don't mind that move, bringing Johnson into the middle. We've seen it happen before, and it's paid dividends.
Well, you need to throw the dice, don't you, a little bit. Yeah. It's starting to get a bit out there. In what hasn't, it's been a bit of a low-scoring game, hasn't it? Yeah. It's been tough, but for two sides like this.
Yep. So Pedley goes up, wins a footy down, and that was Crane who comes through, gathers the footy again. Pedley gets a foot to it and pushes it forward. But sitting there was young Gerard. He marks it behind the centre circle, plays on down the corridor, big long high kick, puts it up to the top of the 50. Versace comes up, fist finds Hug. Giblet takes it centre forward, throws it over to Cooper Clark-Daring, gets a handball to Hutton, who was screaming by. He can't quite pick it up. No one can. Now it's a stalemate 40 metres out from the Donnybrook goal. They try to steamroll it forward, and the umpire's going to ball it up. There's still no side is giving up on the pressure, Alan.
Whoever's got the flick to the lights, just maybe turn them on out there.
Up they go. It's one down by Cooper Clark-Daring to Kai Lucy, snaps it out of the pack. Picked up by Siska, gives it to Gorda. He's got Johnson, who just goes whack up to centre wing on the grandstand side. Taken almost by Bo Lucy, picked up by Ethan Nordell. He's stripped of it. Bo Lucy goes again. It was a good tackle by Gerard for Bunbury Mower Service that allowed for that ball to be stilled. Bain goes back, but only as far as Hutton. He flicked it off to Hug. Kai Lucy's on his own, goes bang on the left. Versace reads it best. With him was Carey, and he's given away a free kick.
One thing players are learning, you can't push off. The tackling is too good for that. You can't just fend off because it just doesn't work.
He's gone into the corridor and found Crane. Crane goes back to the distributor in Gorda. He just goes for a little trot. He's about to get outside 50 now. Puts in a worm-burning left foot to the far side, trying to find right. The kick doesn't come off, and there'll be a throw in at right half forward for Donnybrook.
But once again there, Tommy was looking upfield and there wasn't a lot of options on. Right supplied one on the far wide, but they had to throw it very wide.
25 minutes gone in this third quarter.
And that is it.
That's the end of the third quarter. And on the Harvey Norman Electrical scoreboard, it's South Bunbury 5-5-35, Donnybrook 9-7-61. The Dons have really asserted their ascendancy in this third quarter, Craney.
Well, they have, and they've thrown the challenge right out to the South Bunbury Tigers. It's been a while since they've lost a game of footy, but I tell you what, they've got a fair bit of work to do ahead of them in this last quarter. Can they do it? We'll find out after the break. It is three-quarter time here, and the Tigers, well, they haven't lost a game for a long, long time, but they are under enormous pressure by the Donnybrook Football Club. Donnybrook 9 goals, 7-61. They lead South Bunbury 5 goals, 5-35, and Donnybrook had most of the play. They opened up the ground. They were better around the clearances, but most of all, they closed the South Bunbury outsmacker.
Yeah, they did. South Bunbury haven't been able to have it all their way like they have done for so long now, where they just take the ball in defence, share it around, and then take it out long out the wing and run it on. They haven't been able to do that. Donnybrook have been really disciplined with the way they've set up the ball, and they've brought the ball back inside on just about every occasion.
It's interesting. Getting very dull here at Hands Oval too for the start of this final quarter.
So what are they going to do, Croney? What do they have to do, South Bunbury, to...
Well, they've thrown the big guns back in there. Crane, Cormac and Bain are in, and they've thrown Nordell into the ruck of South Bunbury to try and negate the influence of the Donnybrook midfielders, who have been absolutely outstanding.
And I noticed that they've started with Bo Lucy in the ruck as well, Donnybrook. So just giving Giblet a rest to start this quarter. And he's sitting at centre-half back.
Not a bad man to go to centre-half back, though.
And that's one down by Nordell. They get after it for Hyundai, get down to their pre-end of financial year sale, Craney.
Well, they've only kicked 5 goals, Mac, at South Bunbury, and they need to kick 5-0 to win it. So a big ask.
It's one down by Nordell again. Hug picks it up off the deck, and the ball is taken at half back by Jai Clark. The umpire found a free kick going to Hutton, who's had his moments today. Hutton, little chip pass, finds Hug, who was on fire early.
He's made a good return to Donnybrook.
And then he chips the ball out wide to Jackson, still outside 50. Really tight angle, right side for a right footer.
Must have lost the light switch too, Macca.
On his left boot, goes to the pocket. And Daring takes it off the pack, plays on, over the shoulder, and he's gone across the face.
No, I reckon he's... Oh...
Yeah. I think he was
he got a bit excited there, did Cooper Clark Daring.
I think he was a bit surprised he ended up with the football.
He just stepped around the corner.
And everyone stood still.
He looks like he's really enjoyed his return to Donnybrook as well.
Yeah,
and they'll be pretty happy with this so far.
So, if we look on the right and Emmett scoreboard, it's South Bunbury 5-5-35, Donnybrook 9-8-62, and they've had the first foray forward.
It's White and Emmett, your annual food megastore. Animal food megastore, Macca. So if you want to get a bale of hay, that's a good spot to go.
I'll pick up some dog food for chili on the way home. As Gorda brings the ball right down the corridor, it's inside the centre square now. There's a big tackle laid by Chitty, the captain, and she's on. She's on. The Donnybrook players don't like the way Chitty dealt with their teammate, and they're up. So he's just trying to get a bit of emotion, trying to get his players going, is Chitty.
Well, they need a spark, don't they?
And Kendall wins that one, gives it out to Shannon. He goes long. Trigwell being held. And it's the South Bunbury Versace being held. Gets a handball off to Galloway.
They found the light switch too, Macca. We'll be happy to know.
Beautiful. We'll be able to call the last quarter. It's now out on the wing with McCosker, dances around a couple and then goes on the right boot and drives it back to centre-half forward. They all fly. No one can pick it up. Hug meets the ball with Nordell. Nordell keeps his head over it. It's still in dispute and picked up by Bain, who comes up the wing, chip pass, finds Siska. Running is Ethan Nordell. Goes whack on the right boot. It's in the forward line now. Just trickles inside 50. Waldrett meets it with ferocity. Lane gathers it off the deck. Lovely handball to Jarvis. Mongrels it towards goal. And it's going to be a throw-in the left forward pocket for South Bunbury.
And a bit of misty rain coming across, which is going to make the South Bunbury job just that little bit harder.
But that's the first little bit of run we've seen for South Bunbury for a while. So they would want to try and play on at all costs, I reckon, Alan.
You might as well throw caution to the wind.
Donnybrook have worked really hard, so they'll be a bit tired. Ball comes in. One down there by Lucy. Shannon can't pick it up. Now it's picked up by Cormac. Breaks 2 tackles. Gets it to Johnson. He snaps it. It's going to go to the top of the square. Ball comes off the pack. It's all Donnybrook. McCosker just gets a hand on it in time and slaps it through for a behind.
Yeah, it hasn't been fluent by any means by South Bunbury, but that is the credit to the Donnybrook. The way they've set up has been absolutely superb.
3.5 minutes gone. Thanks to SKG Radiology as the ball goes out to the far side. Oh, big fly by Carey.
Can we have a try?
Was that Wayne Carey or Christian Carey? Comes into the middle of the ground with Nordell.
Can we have a Seapoy out to a nearly mark of the day?
And then he drives it inside and Gorda. It's not Gorda. Looked like Gorda. Where am I? It's Jarvis. Slides on his knees and takes a beautiful mark. Great kick by Nordell inside.
He needs to kick this one, doesn't he?
It's a 45-degree angle, and he'll be kicking from about 35 metres. On the right side for a left footer. So this is an absolutely important goal for the South Bunbury Football Club. In he comes, off the right boot. looks like a pretty good effort, but the umpire just worked and he missed it to the near side. So Fraser's going to bring the ball into play for the Dons, and geez, that's a big let off by South Bunbury to Donnybrook there.
Well, they need to start making some inroads just to get their own confidence up.
So Fraser goes long and a big Lucy over the back. Bo Lucy, great mark over the top there of Siska. And it's wet weather footy too, folks, so it's not as easy as you think. They fly. Another strong mark, that's Perkasic. It's in front of the pack. They're marking it like they're dry, like it's dry. The Dons, the apple pickers, as Perkasic goes up to the half-forward flank, they all stand underneath it. Umpire's found a push out, and it's going to Versace. So he's worked really hard in his second half, Craney.
Oh, it's been some good duels all over the ground. I've enjoyed the contest.
So Clark has the football, brings it right across the ground. He finds Sawyer. Sawyer finds Gorder, always in so much space.
This is where they're having trouble. This is where Donnybrook have really locked down.
Left half back. Bodie Nordell goes at it. Ball goes over the back. Here we go. They're in it with a chance here if Bain can pick it up. Elects to soccer off the ground and goes straight on the chest of McCosker.
Might have been better to bend over there, I think, Mac.
And McCosker brings it back and finds the chest of Giblet. Giblet goes to the chip, not the best kick to Kendall. He gets barreled by Johnson. Handballs it away, could have been taken high. Falco gets it out to Beggs, and Beggs gives it on to Bo Lucy, who goes whack through the corridor. Versace read it well and took a juggling mark in the wet. Gets across to Siska, takes the ball on the run, moves quickly, good football, the young fella. Goes inside, McCosker, another intercept to the skinny backman. In he comes, right boot. Up the wing, Hutton can't mark. Siska with him sees the ball over the line. They can't get any real penetration, the Tigers.
They're trying hard to work that ball quickly, but just their delivery is not quite there. As you said, Macca, that last little bit of rain made things a little bit slippery and the task even a little bit harder.
Absolutely.
But it's good to see someone found the light switch at hands.
On the right, Nemeth scoreboard at South Bunbury 5-7-37, Donnybrook 9-8-62. It's not over by any stretch because we know what Souths can do, but they want to get a rig along with Bain over the footy.
Well, it's been a long time between drinks for South with the goals.
Yep. So they're going to ball it up at right half forward for the Tigers. Up they go. One down by Nordell. Head over the footy, Chitty, kept going. Now Donnybrook emerged with the footy and they kick it through the corridor. Good lead at it. Couldn't quite take it, could carry. But getting there is Kendall. Picks it up, runs to 50. Foot pass to Cooper Clark. Daring! Oh,
he's got it too, I reckon.
Fantastic mark.
Absolute beauty.
He held the mark, but the umpire said it was over the shoulder anyway. That is an absolute Monty for WA, for CPR Outdoors mark of the day.
He's got already a couple of nominations already as Cooper Clark Daring.
Yep. So 45-degree angle.
Kieran Hugg comes back on the ground from the Harvey Norman interchange bench, and he's going to replace Christian Carey.
He's going to kick it from about 45-degree angle, right side for a left footer. Go the right goalpost. He has,
he does.
And he has split the middle. There's another goal there to Cooper Clark Daring. He's got two so far.
A little bit of a wave to the South Bunbury faithful over there, Cooper Clark Daring.
He must have been getting some advice as he was coming in.
No doubt you get plenty of advice from there.
8.5 minutes gone in this fourth quarter. Donnybrook draw first blood, and it's 5-7-37 South Bunbury to Donnybrook 10-8-68. And that's on the right and Emmett scoreboard. That could be a bridge too far, Craney.
It makes it very, very difficult, I think, for the Tigers. They've had a pretty good run, but it's coming to an end very quickly at the moment. So, yeah, look, Donnybrook have been fantastic. They've been absolutely brilliant from the start of this game. We said to beat the Tigers you need to play 4 quarters of full-on footy, and that's exactly what they've done.
And the ball is thrown up for Hyundai as Crane gets the ball off the deck. Probably could have got a free kick for in the back. South Bunbury emerged with it now, and those expert comments you hear from our man Alan Crane are thanks to MGIB, like a good neighbour. They're always with you as Johnson drives the ball inside from centre half forward for South Bunbury. Waldrett off the left foot. Oh, no. It's touched off the boot.
Oh, I'm not sure who touched that.
Yeah. Maybe his foot was over the line.
There was a bit of action going on in the corner.
So Waldrett, he's good for those classical moments, but we didn't quite get one there.
They need more than the classical moment, do they? South Bunbury.
They need classical 15 minutes, Craney, and they are capable. Fraser brings the ball out of defence, comes Grandstand side, Giblet flies, tried to take it on the chest, couldn't. Bedford gets it up to Kai Lucy. He slings it back to Bedford.
He's very close to best on ground, isn't he, Giblet?
Absolutely. Mongrels it forward. Hawkins can't pick it up. Shannon does too. He's another candidate for best on ground. Gives it to Hutton. He got bowled over by his own man, Lucy. Crawford sits over it now, right in front of the commentary box, and the umpire's going to ball it up.
Gee, that tackling has been absolutely fierce. And they're still going. They've got a handy lead with, 10 minutes into the last quarter, and they're still tackling fierce, other Donnybrook Footy Club.
Oh, up they go. One down by Giblet. Chitty comes through. Crane can't quite pick it up. Chitty still fighting on. This type of game's made for Chitty, isn't it?
Oh, look, there are so many good players out there this afternoon.
Both sides. Giblet pushes Hawkins off and gets a fist on it. Hutton follows the ball, left foot, but then it's socket off the ground by Jai Clark. Moves it forward. Well done by Gerard. Head over to the footy. There's not much of him, but geez, he gives it all. Got it back to Pettit. Pettit handballs back to Shannon. About his 450th kick, gets it up to Kendall. Crawford.
Are you keeping that stat, are you?
Good pump fake for Crawford. Saw Crane out the corner of his eye and off he went across the corridor. Crane, he gives it everything he's got and goes inside 50. Waldrett gathers the football on his favours left. Jarvis on the chest. Cade Waldrett take a bow. That was a beautiful pass.
Yeah, it's the first real link-up they had done, haven't they? And no pressure on you, young fella, but I reckon you need to kick this.
Absolutely he does.
It's a tough kick too, in that pocket, right under the scoreboard.
About 15 metres out, right side for a left footer, no angle to speak of, Alan. No angle to speak, no Alan to speak of. Tries off the outside of the right boot and misses the lot, goes right across the face. And once again, Craney, you got to make the most of your opportunities when you're 4-5 goals down.
Absolutely do, especially into the last quarter.
McCosker brings the ball back into play. Oh, Shannon. Tell you what.
He's had a good day at the office, hasn't he?
He's gone around more times than old Del Shannon, I tell you. And he tries to get it to Fraser, not the best kick. Fraser does enough. The ball goes over the boundary line, but a bit more importantly for South Bunbury, it's a ball in for Hyundai inside their forward 50.
Gee, the song will be sung loud and proud tonight, I think, from the Donnybrook boys.
Oh, you're beating South Bunbury at home. Unbelievable. There's a fair bit of hostility as Giblet wins it down. And Beggs taps it forward. There's Kendall.
I think it's the way they've gone about it, which is pleasing for Bolton.
Hutton fists it on. Hug first to arrive. And they still fight over it. That was Nordal went to ground and he wins a free kick. No, yeah, it was Bodie Nordal. Handball off to Crane, who goes long again out to that forward flank. Asks a bit of Cormac. Cormac tackles McCosker hard. And the umpire's going to ball it up.
I know I sound like a broken record, Macca, but it's still to a 2-on-1.
That's
Donnybrook
right.
are getting their numbers back very, very nicely.
Defensively, they have been superb, Donnybrook, today. Up they go. Giblet wins this down again. And the ball will be thrown up just outside of South Bunbury's 50. Right half forward. Up they go again. One down by Giblet. Pack forms. No one can really get a handle on it. Cormac has his head over it and Giblet wraps him up. They look like they're just having a bit of a roll in the playground.
bit of a wander around, you reckon, Macca?
A few tired players now, and we're 14 minutes into this last quarter. Up they go. One down by Giblet. There's Bodie Nordal. Has a look around. Goes on the right boot. Inside 50. They fly. Ball goes over the back. Ethan Nordal, if anyone, gets it. Forms the pack. There's going to be a ball up 25 metres out from the South Bunbury goal on a 45-degree angle, just in front of the right and Emmett scoreboard. Up she goes. It's a beautiful-looking scoreboard. Up they go. One down by Giblet. Picked up by Nordal outside of the right
that's a clever
boot.
goal.
Goodness
Wow.
me, Craney. That's a WA Carpet Supermarket goal of the day contender, Ethan Nordell. Hopefully it's the right Nordell this time, because they'll slay me if it was Cade Waldred again.
No, it was Ethan Nordell. Man, that was an outstanding goal, wasn't it? That young fella's got a lot of talent.
And on the right Nemeth scoreboard, South Bunbury 6-8-44, Donnybrook 10-8-68. We have a 24-point ball game. They're good enough. There's still about 15 minutes to go. So that just keeps the pulse going, Craney.
Yeah, she's faint, but as I say, you always got to keep your mind open. But that was something they needed, wasn't it? Something out of the box that Ethan Nordell bought. He just made something out of absolutely nothing.
Maybe that can inspire them. Up they go. One down by Giblet yet again. Taken out of the middle by Falco. Misses with the kick, and then Crane gets his toe on it. It goes to centre half forward. Coming out and meeting it hard was Chitty. Can't pick it up. Shovels it forward. It comes back to him. He's having to do the walk. Falco picks it up and streaks through the middle of the ground. Left foot pass, but shipping in is Jai Clark and intercepting at centre half back. Goes long down the corridor. That's what they need more of now to South Bunbury. Big fist for McCosker. Chitty gets after it. Right with him was Shannon. Siska chisels it out of the pack, but only as far as Donnybrook. Giblet turns around the corner. Hug. Great gather from him. Gives it back to Bedford. He's stripped of it by Sawyer. Should have been holding the ball. Kendall fires the ball out to a teammate, and here's Hug. Received it from Shannon. He goes, puts it long into space. Getting back's Versace. He may see it over the line, and he does. What's the umpire going to call here? He's going to say ball it in. So a bit lucky. Kicked it to space. No real teammates there, so it could have been insufficient intent, Craney.
You never know nowadays whether they call that or not, don't you? It's an interesting rule.
So the ball to come back into play for Hyundai. Get to their pre-end of financial year sale. One down by Horsburn. Higgins coming through, and eventually South Bunbury clear it out of defence. Giblet can't pick it up. He's just so tired, knocked up, getting kicks. McCosker falls over it. Jackson has the ball now. Goes back to centre half forward for the Dons, but Hawkins stands there and takes a lovely contested mark. He gives it on to Johnson, who just goes whack down the middle of the ground. They come out to meet it. It clears the whole pack. Waldret's there, trying to find something for his team. Siska handballs back to right. Streaking through was Pergasic. Dribbles it along the ground. Shannon gives it back to Jackson. Pergasic squirts one out and
nice
finds
and calm
McCosker.
there too. He just waited till something popped up there. McCosker, he does a good job, doesn't he, McCosker?
Yeah, he
quietly goes about his business.
Goes up to the wing, tries to look for Kendall, couldn't mark. Hawkins tried to keep it in play, but eventually it's gone over the line. Pergasic appealing for insufficient intent, but so I don't know that was there. So throw in on this grandstand
it's not
wing.
because umpire said no, so...
Yep. Throw in right here on this grandstand wing. It's going to be Giblet and Hawkins. One down by Giblet. Cleared the pack. Crane sets after it with Pergasic. Crane keeps it in play. Good handball. Back inside to Bain. He pops it up to centre forward. They all stand under it. McCosker. Just a good safe intercept mark on the chest.
Gee, they've been very good.
He brings the ball out with a low punt. Shannon can't mark that. Bain gets after it again. He's been terrific today, Bain. Kendall can't quite get a handle on it. Streaking through Clark. Rolling through Pergasic. There's that man Giblet again. To Hutton. To Hug. Had his head ripped off. And he gets a free kick. He's smiling because he bent the knees.
Clark went down and he very awkwardly, and he's just
off.
wandering straight to the game thanks to SKKG. But he's gone straight through the Harvey Norman interchange bench.
So, yep, he might be heading straight off to SKG Radiology. As the ball,
I think it was an ankle the way he went down.
As the ball goes over the boundary line in front of the South Bunbury bench. Social rooms will be brought back into play for Hyundai, who are currently having a pre-end-of-year financial sale. Get down and get yourself a new set of wheels down at Hyundai. One down by Giblet again.
And if you want to take your cans somewhere, Matt, Cash for Cans is the place to do it.
Cash for Cans.
Recycling made easy. And if you're going to go and buy a steak, go to Buckingham the Butchers, because that's a good spot as well.
Buckingham Butchers. Buckingham the Butchers, big moment. One down by Giblet again. Picked up by Hug. Shovels it out looking for Pergasic. Bain gathers the football and goes long into the middle of the ground. Steading out after it is South Bunbury. Wright couldn't get hold of it. Dale does, and he dribbles one forward. Came off the toe of his boot. Oh, good commitment from Jarvis. Umpire said, though, that, what do you call it, sliding below the knees.
Below the knees is it?
And it'll be a free kick going the way of Bo Lucy.
I don't think it'll be a very long quarter either, Macca. Not many goals scored.
Only 20 minutes gone. He goes inside 50. They fly. It's in Donnybrook's forward line. Umpire's found a free. And it's gone to South Bunbury. Pays advantage now. They come through the middle of the ground. Good mark to Bo Lucy. Good strong mark.
We have the Donnybrook coach sitting next to us in the coach's box. He'll be very, very pleased with his players' performance this afternoon. The ability to carry out a task.
Lucy puts it inside 50. Falco off the deck.
There you
fires
go.
It around the corner and hits the woodwork.
It was just curving in, wasn't it?
Yeah. Just didn't lean it out to the right goalpost enough. And Donnybrook get another point. 20 and a half minutes gone in this last quarter. On the right and Emmett scoreboard at South Bunbury 6-8-44. Donnybrook 10-9-69. South Bunbury bring it back into play. It's a big kick by Gorder. Picked up there beautifully by Lane. Gets it out to Bodie Nordell. Sean Crane hasn't given up all day. Mongrels one inside 50. They stand underneath it. Fraser drops it at the coalface. South Bunbury run into an open goal. He's put it through. There's still a chance. That's Wright who's kicked that.
Jay Wright had a bit of a quiet day, as Jay Wright, but he was on the end of some very good bullocking work for South. That's why they moved the ball fast through the midfield, Macca, and well, it does keep them with half a chance.
19-point ball game if we're looking at the right Emmett scoreboard. 7-8-50 South Bunbury. Donnybrook 10-9-69. Three quick ones, but the way Donnybrook have set up defensively all day, you'd see it. Find it hard to happen, but
well, Macca, it's a bit chilly tonight too, and if you want to get some firewood, Giovanetti's is the place to go and get some firewood.
I'll remember that on the way home.
You'll be able to grab a bag of firewood on the way home, mate.
I'll make the bride happy when I walk in the door with a bag of wood.
Yeah, don't worry about the flowers, Macca, just bring the bag of wood.
Oh, goodness me. Up they go for Hyundai. Pedley and Giblet. Giblet rins it down, but it's all South Bunbury. Cormac goes off the deck. Good soccer forward. Taken by Lane. Very clean. Looking for someone to handball it to. Didn't get it away. Good tackle by McCosker. Holding the ball.
So many good tackles thanks to Bunbury Mower Service this afternoon.
McCosker's been terrific today,
Crane. He just goes about his business, doesn't he, McCosker?
Got it to Cormac. It's Falco, who's then got it to Pettit. Runs out of defence. Left foot up the far wing. They stand underneath it. They will bring it back, South Bunbury. Gorder, left foot, spiral torpedo punt if you don't mind. Comes off the pack. Johnson can't get there in time, and it's another behind to the South Bunbury. That's 3 even goals now, Alan. We're in draw territory.
There you go, Macca. It might be another stole it, you reckon?
Could be. Could be. Where's Cade Waldrett? Go get a white headband or something. So it ain't muck it up. Righto, ball to come back into play from Donnybrook's Dale. Lucy sets himself. Giblet just about took a good strong mark in front of the pack. Umpire is going to ball it up. At left half forward for South Bunbury, who've just started to press a little bit here.
Umpire's appreciation round this one too, Macca, so good luck to all the umpires out there.
One down by Pedley, then he roves it. Falco with him, picks it up. He's brought to ground fairly quickly too. And we're 23 minutes gone. We must be getting close now, Alan.
I know, it's getting very dull out there.
Up they go. Giblet smacks it towards the boundary line. May get penalised. No, umpire's going to ball it in. 65 around from South Bunbury goal on the grandstand side.
Just a quick around the grounds through thanks to Geograph Civil. Eaton, good game going on there. Bustleton 14-4, 88 lead. Eaton 12-6, 78 at three-quarter time. And Dunsborough, they have defeated the Collie Eagles 13-10, 88 to 9-10, 64. You'd be very happy with that result, Macca.
Absolutely. And they're still battling for the football after that very good Hyundai throw-in. It goes over the back now through the middle of the ground. Getting over the football was Galloway. And now they're out in the open. Parker picks it up. Sets sail on goal from 40 out dead in front, and they're home. The Dons are going to take a victory against South Bunbury here today at a Hands Oval, and this will be one to savour and build their season on.
Well, it will be one to build their season on. You're exactly right. That they had a hiccup down at Dunsborough a couple of weeks ago, didn't perform that well against Bunbury, bounced back against Harvey, and then come to Hands Oval and give the Tigers, well, it's going to be a fairly handy sort of victory. The coach has taken his headphones off next door, as he
He's quite happy. He's getting ready to head down to the boys. 7-9-51, 11-9-75 on the right and Evans scoreboard. Donnybrook holding a healthy 24-point lead at this point in time. Audio, Pedley and Giblet. Who's your best on ground today, Craney?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We might start running through a few of them, Macca.
Pedley's got his head over the football. Crane pounces on it. Umpire says play on. They're going to throw it up again. 25 minutes gone in this last quarter. What a fantastic performance from the Dons today. One down by Giblet. Only as far as Johnson. He's hacked it forward. Oh, head over the footy, McCosker. He doesn't know they've already won it. He doesn't want to put himself in hospital. As Perkisic gathers the ball. Big up and under. Falco stands underneath. Cormac storming through. Gives one to Falco as he tries to block his run. And Jarvis sees the footy over the line with Jackson in pursuit.
Thanks to Linmark Bearing Equipment for your support this afternoon. Big moments for Buckingham's and Butchers inside the Bunbury Plaza. I think you've already grabbed that one. The kick by Zachy Trigwell after the siren. That just put the Dons with a... They ran in with a real bit of confidence, didn't they, Macca?
Gave them a 3-goal breather when Souths were coming. And one down by Pedley this time from the Hyundai throw-in. Picked up by Siska. He tried to dish it back to Chitty, who's stripped of it. Siska goes back and wins the football, hacks it forward. Jarvis can't take the mark. Chiblet, another big kick to Gibber. Dribbles it down. Well gathered, if you don't mind, by Christian Carey,
set it up
who's
nicely
enjoyed his
too.
outing. And there was Parker underneath. Hutton there, can't take it. And they clear the ball once more to South Bunbury. Chitty in the middle of the ground, there's Crane. Runs through the circles. And his handball is intercepted by Jordan Falco. They come back over. Umpire's found a free kick, and it's going to Falco.
Thanks to MGIB, like a good neighbour, MGIB, for your support this afternoon. We're going for the tackle of the game now. Bunbury Mower Service and Preston Power Equipment. Macca, you just call this one, and then we'll go through the tackle of the game.
So Siska got it out to Cormac, who's thrown off it by Hutton. Hugs handballed, but wasn't to advantage, and he's wrapped up by another Bunbury Mower Service. What's your tackle of the game, Ellen?
It's Dion Parker wins my tackle of the game because I thought his stopping was absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant. And the ball just eludes Parker, picked up by Huggy, gets a tired kick into the pocket. Carey still working hard, dribbles around, loses a chance outside of the left boot.
Oh, if
he's
you
got
don't
it!
mind.
Oh my goodness, Grady, we were just about to talk about the
goal of the
day from WA Carpet Supermarket, and I think we just found it.
He just put that in. There's been a number of goals. Let's go for the mark of the day for CPR Outdoors custom built sheds. There was a couple of beauties, but I think Cooper Clark Daring will take out the mark of the day.
Absolutely.
That was absolutely superb, wasn't it?
Yep.
Seeing it coming. He's had a good return to the Donnybrook side, and all the best for his future at South Fremantle. So we're going to give him the mark of the day, I think.
Absolutely. And he came to life at a time when South Bunbury were really starting to kick into gear.
And the goal of the day, well, there's a lot of good goals, but probably none better than that. But I think Bodie, Ethan Nordell's was pretty handy as well. So
absolutely.
Which way are you going to go there, Mac?
Oh, you've got to go Kai Lucy outside of the left foot on the run from the pocket as Perkisic takes the ball out of the middle of the ground off his left foot. Inside 50, here's CCD. Couldn't quite gather it to give us one last highlight. Comes back to Carey, snaps it in there. Parker, bang! Was that right on the bell, or was that just someone squealing? That's just someone squealing, and Donnybrook are just banging on a bit of percentage now on the right hand scoreboard.
Was that the siren? Wasn't the siren just gone? So the best on ground, look, this is a post-game through thanks to Linmark Berry Equipment, Geograph Industrial Supplies. The best on ground, well, there's a number of players that could have put their hand up for that. But I think Clayton Giblet, right from the start of the bottom, he's probably where I'm heading, Macca. Got any ideas on that?
Oh, I'm right with you.
Kieran Hugg was very good early. Yeah. There's a number of players.
Shannon's been excellent for 4 quarters. Kevin Chitty's battled really hard. Sean Crane's battled really hard. But for me, head and shoulders from go to woe, Clayton Giblet. They should have rucked him in the waffle, Craney.
Absolutely, mate. He's been outstanding as Clayton Giblet.
He's had more kicks today than he had his whole waffle career at fullback.
Well, I like the fact that they backed him in.
So that's one down by Chitty to Crane. He got a handball out only as far as Jackson. He goes out to Bedford, who's on the half-forward flank, gathered by Chitty, getting another stat. On the left foot, into the corridor. Crane under pressure from Shannon. Handball now to Hutton. He's brought to ground and holding the ball. 30 minutes gone in this quarter. He must be close to the siren now. They get up South Bunbury. Giblet, just another. Oh, no, he's infringed.
He's probably worn out. He had to lean on it.
And there's the bell.
There is the siren to close off the game here at Hands Oval. What a magnificent break. We'll be back after the break to wrap it all up.